Hello and welcome everybody to the AG Weekly number 30. I am Storm, and with me today is nobody. I thought I was going to have somebody, but unfortunately they are not able to join me. So I will be doing most, if not all, of this cast alone. That should be just fine, because we won't have any more Ranger BM towards anybody today, hopefully. So anyhow, I do have a few short announcements before we get into our first matchup, which is Spicy Azurin up against Ethereal Guardians, if I'm not mistaken. Two teams moving on into the round of 8 for you guys. I do want, like I said, a few announcements. For those of you that don't know, we do have our YouTube page up for both AG tournaments and ESL tournaments, so go ahead and follow that channel, subscribe to it. You can find that below underneath all the stuff underneath the channel. I would really appreciate the follow for that, guys. Really trying to start to build the channel and bring out a lot more content to it in the coming weeks and coming months as I get more ideas for that stuff. I'm working on starting some stuff up, maybe some bi-weekly, weekly stuff coming on that channel, so definitely follow that. I would appreciate it so much. You can find that below the channel. If you're looking for other ways to support AG and myself, you can find our buy Guild Wars 2 below the stream. I got that just a week ago, so if you're interested, go ahead and do that. And again, we do have another skin giveaway to get today, guys. I believe we're going for another 100 or so gold skin giveaway. We did have one last week, but we'll have one more again this week. And as always, if you're interested in signing up for the AG tournaments, you can go ahead and find those up at battlefy.com/academy-gaming. And we are bringing out a lot more content to the AG website. You can find that above me, academygamingnet.com. We're trying to aim for at least an article, if not 2 a week, definitely boosting out the content in which we're pushing out there. So look for videos, look for guides, etc. on that website. A lot of good stuff that people really don't know, so definitely check those out if you're not if you haven't seen the website yet. But anyhow, we do have our first match ready for you guys. Like I said, it's going to be Spicy Azurin up against Ethereal Guardians. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got for both these guys. We've got, if I'm not mistaken, this is Ethereal Guardians over here on the red team. We've got Noodles up first. He's going to be playing the Guardian for this team. He's going to be running with the Mace focus, with that staff running with Soldier Runes, Cleric's Amulet running the typical stuff. I don't want to spend too much time on builds right now. He is going to, next up we got Hero Death playing DDLE with Hullbreak Runes, Firewater Arcane. Thundercat going to be playing Mesmer, but he's going to be taking Sword Torch with the Greatsword rather than that staff. We don't see a whole lot of Sword Torch or Sword X for that matter anymore, just because of the fact that staff, you know, you have so much damage as is coming out from that Greatsword. You don't really need that extra damage that comes from the staff X. You can play with that defensive weapon set. So he's going to be running with that, running with Zerker Amulet. The Vamp Runes running with Dueling Inspiration and Domination for himself with the double mantras. Next up, Kevy playing the second Mesmer for this team with the exact same build. The exact same build, except he's going to be running Mass Invis over that Time Warp that we saw Thundercat with. And finally, we've got Sister playing the second DDLE for this team with the Strength Runes rather than the Hullbreak that Hero is running with Fire, Water, and Arcane. Now, taking a look at this blue team, this is a really, really good team that we've seen in recent weeks. Spicy Azurin, they placed top 4 last week. I believe the week before they got second. These guys are definitely ones to watch out for because they've been performing admirably over the past few weeks here. So we've got Quanfi first. He's going to be playing Staff, Greatsword with Vamp Runes, Marauder Amulet. He's going to be running with Inspiration, Dueling, and Domination with a Signet of Humility, so that's interesting. He'll be taking that. Not a whole lot of people to use Signet of Humility on over here. We've got a couple of DDLEs that might be good targets. Mesmers, they can be good targets, but they can also, yeah, I mean, it's such a toss-up. Usually you want to use that against like a Rampage, or not a Lich really anymore because you don't really see that, but Rampage, but they don't have a Warrior, so let's see if he sticks with that. Next up, Chaos 7 going to be playing Necromancer for this team with Dagger, Warhorn. He's going to be running with Staff, Soldier's Amulet running with Rune of Mercy. He's going to be playing Minion Manster with Blood Magic, Death Magic, and Soul Reaping for himself with all 5 minions. Alvis Vayne going to be playing Mesmer for this team with the Sword Torch. He's going to be running something identical to that of Thundercat and Kevy, but he's running with Traveler Runes, Marauder rather than Zerker Amulet. He's going to be running Chaos over that Inspiration, running with Domination and Dueling. Scrub playing the Necromancer for this team. I thought that said, it says he's on Thief, but he is actually playing Necromancer. Still got that bug going on. He's going to be running with Dagger, Warhorn. Staff, he's going to be running the Selly triple Signet build that we so often see now. And finally, we got Sir Nib playing the Guardian for this team. He's going to be running support with that Scepter focus, running with Staff, Mercy runes, however, over those Soldier Runes. So that's a bit of an interesting interesting thing to take for himself because they've already got a Necromancer running Mercy Runes. I don't think they really need him running Mercy, but he's going to be running Clerics nonetheless. Virtues, Valor, and Honor with those 4 shouts. So as we get into this first game, guys, I would welcome Demise to come cast with me if he would like to. That would be an excellent opportunity for him to get into that casting game. But anyhow, take a look at the opening splits. Neither team actually going to be crossing here. I'd say I'm a little surprised. Usually we see something like that.
Svanir's return.
Looks like we've got, you know, no play on the bosses here, so we're just going to have a pretty normal split coming out for both these teams. Blue team a little bit later to the point, but they're going to get right on top of Noodle, who is going to have some backup coming in a matter of seconds. Both of these Mesmers are going to be spiking down. It looks like their main target was Clampy there, who takes a bit of damage, is back behind the keep, is able to mitigate a bit, but Scrub is also super low, under a lot of pressure right here, doesn't even get Plague off, so he gets taken down there. Nice res coming out from the rest of his team. We did see a Time Warp. I believe that Time Warp came out from, that was the other team. It's hard to tell without these icons who's playing which classes, especially since I don't know these players all that well. But regardless, really good res coming out from that blue team, even with that Time Warp coming out from the red team. Now Kevy's under a little bit of pressure. Is in Vampirunes right here. It's still in Viz. Has his mantra of recovery up. He's going to probably get that up. Should be okay for the time being, but blue team actually capped that midpoint during that fight. We do see the portal back to that mine. I'm not exactly sure that that's the greatest move for this red team, especially with the fact that they don't have mid right now, and they're leaving Noodles sitting on this point. Not sure what the motive behind this rotation is. They didn't need to send 2 people back to deal with a Minimancer. They really didn't need to do that. So Chaos actually gets his heal off there. Should be okay, especially with Scrub coming in to save the day, or at least get on the point and get that decap. So that's a really good play coming out there from Spicy. Scrub, though, absolutely obliterated by 3 members of this red team. Does get stomped there by Thundercat, who provided a vast majority of that damage coming out from his team. Now they just need to clean up shop here. Nice portal, though, coming out there from, I believe that was Sir Nib. Nope. Who's there? Allah's Vein, that was his portal. Okay, still confused. No class icons. Allah's Vein had a very nice portal, got him through that. He died on the other side, but they still got that res there. That was a very excellent play coming out from him. But he's just sitting over here waiting for this Elementalist to leave the point. They don't even know that Allah's Vein is sitting over here, so he's just gonna stealth up. He's going to be at that free decap. No, he is not. It looks like the Elementalist still knows something's up. Oh, he jumps down. Hero of Death, not seeing what is happening, gets that decap. That is brutal for him and the rest of his team. Now at this midpoint, we still got this big fight going on. Sister lands that Churning Earth. Not sure it did a whole lot for his team. You know, Churning Earth is still pretty devastating. So unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to pick up any kills with that. But regardless, it looks like Sir Nib is that main target. Has shelter up if he needs to. Looks like he will be trying to get that off here. Their red team does take their home though back, but regardless, down about 90 points. We do see this red team filing back into the midpoint finally. Now Allah's Vein is under a little bit of pressure, needs to be very careful. Has Time Warp that is so useful to his team. Thundercat was actually taken out there on the steps. Good Time Warp coming out there from Kevy, able to make sure he gets him back up into that fight. I believe, no, that was a massive Is. We saw the Time Warp actually from Allah's Vein trying to go in for that stomp with this team. So they did eventually get that stomp onto Thundercat. Now Chaos is in the down state, trying to get res. He does get res. Great res coming out from the rest of his team here. Blue team had the upper hand, but Sir Nib gets taken into the down state. Look at the health pools for the blue team, despite it being a 5v4 right here. Nib's back up into the fight. Quanthi under a lot of pressure now. He's going to be taken down. Does he get the mantra of recovery off? It looks like he does. Is he going to cleanse the burns? He keeps cleansing these burns, but he's not going to get rid of these 3 right here. Great job from him trying to stay alive. The health pools of this red team coming off a respawn. We see Hero Death able to get that decap over the henge. Quanthi, though, is taken into that down state. Will the stomp come off there? Looks like Kevy is going to clean up shop here. They're going in for that res, so despite that, there wasn't any cleave coming out from the red team. They definitely had that fight if they wanted to. I think they need to bail out in this midpoint. Too late. Allah's Vein going to be able to get that decap over there at that mine point. I think that was their mistake rotationally not to leave mid. They had that, unless they had that fight wrapped up. They didn't have that fight wrapped up. They definitely, if they would have wrapped up that fight, they definitely could have moved over to side points. Now we see them going to be 2 capped once again. That's really, really sloppy play coming out from this red team. Quanfi, though, spike down. Great spike play we've seen thus far coming out from this red team. Really nailing down some of these targets. They're going to be going in for the res. Blue team taking that 2 cap once again, continuing to build their lead. The Spices are really looking good with that decap there as they were forced off to go get that res. We did see Thundercat, not Thunder Fury, able to get that decap there. Good burst damage coming out from the blue team onto Thundercat. It looks like that is, if I'm not mistaken, that is Scrub and Quanfi, excuse me. But not the defense. Scrub now under a lot of pressure. Does get taken out there by Kevy. Able to put him in downstate. They're going in for the res. Will they be able to get it? They get the res on him. So great res is coming out from this blue team. Red, Ethereal Guardian is really not solidifying these kills. They're getting multiple people into the downstate, but they're really not doing anything about it. They're not getting the stomps. They're not cleaving. They're not utilizing their damage. They have extra damage output with these weapon sets. They're running with the staff and they're running with the sword. That's extra damage that you know, there's damage that comes from the staff weapon set, no doubt, but I mean, there's so much extra damage I feel with the sword weapon set that you can get off, especially in cleave situations, AoE cleave, that you really kind of lack with the staff aside from Chaos Storm. And even at that, that's not a whole lot of cleave, so really haven't been taking advantage of that. Over here at the Hand Show, we got a 1v1 going on between Chaos and Hero of Death. Chaos really, you know, this isn't a great matchup for him, just because of the fact that the DL has so much insane, he doesn't have a whole lot of damage, and the red team holds this node right here. So really not a bad situation for red to be at. And they finally got the sides. Right now, red team just need to piece out of this keep node. They don't need to be at the mid, and that's exactly what they're doing. Seeing if they get this kill on Spice or Scrub. Not a bad idea because Scrub is all alone. We see two members of this blue team making their way over here. Allsvane did use decoy there. He is not using that second. He's not using any mantras, actually. He's not using that mantra of recovery, and he's not using that mantra of distraction. So he's running old-fashioned build for the most part there. But anyhow, at this midpoint, that was decapped over there, but he did manage to get out of that one alive. The health pools of this blue team really not looking too good. Quanti able to get his mantra of recovery off, able to get some heals back up. All his vein did make his way back to the mid, but because he portal out of Mind Point, if I'm not mistaken, didn't want to take on that 1v1 between the Ellies. Now red team is in this position where they can get back into this game. Just piece out of the midpoint. My advice right here, there's no reason for them not to play on sides, because it's so close of a game in the sense that if they make the slightest mistake right now, if they lose a point, the blue team is just going to start to, they're not going to gain a lead because it'll be one cap versus one cap, but it'll be to the point where the blue team's just getting so close to that 400, 500 point mark that the red team can't make a comeback. They did get a kill though on Chaos though, so having these low health pools on favor of them, the red team that is, really going to help them try and win this game. Sister get pretty low against Quanti. Had a nice, really nice burst play coming out from him. We'll have to take a look at what's going on at that point in just a few moments here. But Scrub under a lot of pressure here from Noodles, and it looks like Kevy. This is a nice 2v2 going on. All his vein is right behind here. Should be able to hold off and push them away from that point. So they're holding on the sides. Pretty good play coming out from this. This is exactly what they need to do. They did plus that fight over at the mine, trying to take down Quampi. Quampi is going to be taken into the downstate. Now the blue team are kind of in limbo. They're not exactly sure what they want to be doing here. They are going to be moving over to this point, trying to go for that res more than likely. Their Minimancer is here, so there's the quickness shout coming out there from Nib, able to get that res near instantly with those Mercy Runes, going to bring him back up to 100% HP. Now red team, it's their fight, but taking a look at what's going on near the midpoint, we did see this stomp come out onto Scrub. That's a good pickup. They could actually, I'm surprised they didn't actually take that 2v1 at the midpoint. Oh, the portal comes out from the midpoint. Will it be enough? We do have Thundercat, who's super low here. There was a Moed player for one of these teams, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that was the blue team. They've got two. Yes, they do have two Mesmers. So Quafi was able to get that Moa onto the red team. They did portal out of there. It got out of that Mind Point, able to get that full cap at the keep. Really good play coming out from them. Now this red team holds a 2 cap. They're back in this game. Definitely back in this game, and looking to take a 3rd point over here at the mine, where it looks like Chaos is under a bit of pressure. Has some support from Sir Nib. Red team does not want to give up at this point. They can surge ahead in points and take this game right now if they're able to hold on to this decap. This is everything right here, as well as the 2 cap. Take a look at what's going on near the midpoint right below. All his vein is pretty low right here. Doesn't have a whole lot left. He's going to try and stick on top of, I believe that is Thundercat. Able to get out of here. Scrub really low below the keep right here. Will he be taken out? Is Kevy going to see him? Oh, Kevy, you could have got an easy kill there, man. That would have been priceless if you got that kill. Noodle is going to see him. We'll have to see if is he going to keep him in combat. Going to try and get out of here. Does get that fear mark off. So red team holding on this 2 cap. They have taken their first lead of the game, if I'm not mistaken. Surged ahead with this 2 cap. and are looking to take this game number 1 against Spicy Azuren, a very, very good team in this AG tournament. So really good play thus far coming out from Ethereal, but it's not over. His hero was taken in and downstate by Quamfi, and Olazvang really coordinated burst play onto him. Do you see the portal coming out there? They portal back to the midpoint, trying to get that decap. Now they portal back to that. The red team saw that was coming. I believe that was a double portal, if I'm not mistaken, for both of those teams. We are going to see this red team manage to hold onto the 2-cap despite some really, really good plays coming out from blue. Kevy pretty low. Sister is actually low and gets stomped out below the keep. So blue team making a counter comeback here as Kevy, forced to use Massive Viz, does get that off just in the nick of time. Blue team do manage to get the decap over there at the henge, trying to get that full cap. Red team with a 25 plus, just about a 35-point lead, excuse me. All they need to do is make sure they hold a contestation. We are going to see a play, no doubt, over here at the Chieftain. Just a matter of seconds. We'll have to see what the blue team decides to do. If they force out Kevy from this fight, they can definitely, if they wanted to, take that Chieftain kill. But over here at the mine, we do have a 2v1 going on between both Dagger Ellies of this red team and the Minion Mancer of the blue team. They could take him down here as no Shroud left out of this. Nice updraft. They're able to get this decap here. Double updraft. No double updraft actually needed. They're able to get that decap as the blue team did have a 2-cap for just a couple of seconds. We are going to see a huge fight emerge over here near the midpoint, or excuse me, near the mine point as the skill comes in for Scrub. Sir Neb not able to get that knockback going in for the res there, but still, this is everything. This fight is going to determine who wins this game. Red team still holding on to a 29-point lead right here. 4v4, excuse me, over here at the mine point. Chaos into the downstate. Are we going to see that kill come out from Thundercat? Thundercat gets to stomp. I believe that was the distortion stop, taking out Quamfi, maybe, who's in Vamp Runes right now. That would be the game over. They are going to take him into the downstate. I think we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we're going to see this red team, that would be Ethereal Guardians, beating Spicy Azuren on game number 1, but it's not over quite yet. We do have the Minion Mancer. Actually, this is the Selly Necro going in for the kill over that to Chieftain, but that's not going to really do anything as red team hold on to that 2-cap. And there we have it. Ethereal Guardians taking game number 1 over Spicy Azuren. Pretty darn good game for both teams. That was a really, really excellent comeback from Ethereal Guardians. Like I said, all they needed to do was really hold on to that 2-cap for most of that game near the end part. You know, actually, it was near the middle where they kept pushing for that 3rd node and they didn't need to. And when they pushed for that 3rd node, it seemed like they lost their 2nd node. So really, really good game as they split off from that midpoint and moved to the sides to really build their lead. Coming down from that was about 80 points, I believe they were down there. So really good effort from them. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to keep up that momentum in game number 2. But that was a lot of talking there, so I'm going to turn on the music, guys, and we will get back to this when game number 2 begins.
The match starts soon.
Alright, guys, we do have game number 2 underway. As we get into the second one, if we see Ethereal Guardians take this, they will be knocking out Spicy Azuren. We'll have to take a look at the opening splits first, as we have Quamfi going for his home node for that Spicy Azuren. We do have Hero of Death moving towards his. We do have a 3-point play, though, coming out from the rest of the Spicy Azuren team as they have their Minion Mancer making their way over to this quarry node. as the red team actually opted for the 2-point split, so they are going to be having a numbers advantage at the start. They're really kind of out in the open, not exactly sure what they want to do, but we do see over here Scrub was taken. He is actually on his Steeth now for real. He was on Necromancer last game. We didn't actually take a peek at his build, but take a look. He is actually running Shadow Art's variant of DP, running Vampires and Marauder Inlet here. But he is taken into the downstate there. The first kill coming out there for this red team. Really, really solid opening despite them pushing a 2-cap. They really at a 2-point play right at the start of this game. Really good effort there. They did manage to get up Scrub. He did get back up into that fight as we had multiple members of the blue team make their way over to him. Aldous Vane get pretty low. Chaos actually stomped there. So despite Scrub getting back up, this red team really kept the pressure up on those people that they had taken very, very, very low for that matter while they were getting that res there. Scrub once again actually taken out over there at the quarry node. They're going to be able to get that cap in just a matter of seconds. Sir Nib pretty low at mid. He needs to be careful. I have shelter up, but so much damage that comes out from the rest of this red team. He is just getting blown up right here. Have to see, gets his quickness shut off, able to stay alive for a little bit longer, has some support from his Mesmers trying to take him down, actually take the enemy team down. We do have that time warp coming out from Thundercat. We're going to see that stomp from Sir Nib, able to take him out. Now look at the rest of this blue team. We do have Quamfi, who's pretty low right here, doesn't have anything left but Power Lock. One charge of that remains for him. As Blink able to get it. Oh, but he does get, it looks like that was a very, very nice play coming out there from Kevy, I believe, able to get that kill onto Quamfi, able to make sure he's out of that fight. You know, despite blue team holding this very small lead at the beginning of this game, red team seemed to have all the kills. They've really been dominating for the first 2 minutes here. And blue team really haven't taken out anyone from this red team. Just really coordinated bursts coming out from Ethereal Guardians. Taking a look at what's going on over at the quarry, we do see red team does have this cap. Oh, but the burst play coming out there from Aldous Vane and Quamfi. Double Mesmer spiking down Hero of Death. Is that a portal from this red team? I'm not so sure that it is. Hero of Death looked like he was trying to go through the portal. I believe that could have been his portal. Not so sure because there are 4 Mesmers in this game right here. We do see Thundercat going to go for that decap over at the waterfall, knowing that this mid fight is more than likely one, able to get that kill onto Scrub. We're going to see Chaos make his way to this point, able to get there on there just in the nick of time. That's okay. He doesn't need to go for this res. He's actually going to go for it regardless. I think he didn't really need to take that 10% damage he did. He could stay alive quite so long, quite a long time on this mini Mancer build, especially getting some support from Nib coming off a respawn here. Take a look at what's going on at the quarry once again as we have Kevy in a 1v2 against Quamfi, I believe. Excuse me, this is just a 1v1 between Quamfi. It's Quamfi able to take him out there, get him with that power lock, able to take him into the downstate. Meanwhile, at the midpoint, we saw Chaos was just stomped. Now Nib is the one under a lot of pressure. This seems to be a recurring theme for this red team or blue team this game. They seem to just lose somebody, and then they get their bunker back in, then their other bunker is back in, and then they lose their first bunker once again. We do see Scrub going in for that decap over at the waterfall. It's going to be a good rotation on his side. Meanwhile, at this midpoint, still no one clearly having the advantage. It really feels like to me, this red team Ethereal Guardians has done such a great job at the start of this game and continued to get constant kills, constant pressure, but I think they're just not keeping up in rotations. That's why the score doesn't heavily favor them or favor them at all for that matter. This red team or blue team is really making good use of their thieves and their thief and their Mesmers, portals for that matter, making sure they get them in the right places and take out the key components of this red team. But red team able to get that, trying to go in for that stomp onto Quamfi. I don't think that res is going to happen for this blue team. I don't think that's going to happen. Nice updraft coming out there from Sister, trying to keep up the deeps onto him as red team able to claim that quarry node for themselves. As the kill onto Quamfi does not happen, that res actually we saw Scrub come in with that Shadow Refuge, able to get him back up into the fight. This mid point still has not been capped for either team. Scrub, fire grab, gonna hit him from Sister once again. Really good play. We do see that time warp coming out there. I believe that is from Thundercat. That was Thundercat's time warp. Able to make sure they get the kill onto Scrub, not letting that res happen. That's kind of something they struggled with in the last game. We are gonna see them take out Quamfi again. There's just so many kills this game. I believe we've seen like multiple wipes over and over from both teams, actually from this blue team in particular, but they're really not keeping up with the rotations here. This blue team is doing a great job of rotating and holding a 2-cap despite losing many of the fights. I know in the past I was on a team that we didn't win a whole lot of fights, our rotations are what won the games for us. But and blue team really doing a great job with that, despite losing a lot of the fights. They are going to have the upper hand over here at the waterfall, being in the 2v1 for the death. Gonna ride the lightning. Actually, that was burning speed with the lightning flash out of that fight. Gonna try and get to this midpoint where Sir Nib is taking a lot of pressure now that the elemental has joined the fight. Able to get that shelter off. It has no shots aside from his lead out his available to him. Gonna get some support from the rest of his team. Let's check out all his vein. He's looking to spike someone down, no doubt. But Sir Nib taking it into the downstate. They do get to stomp there from Thundercat. I believe he did distortion stomp that. All his vein now under a lot of pressure. He does get taken out there. Sister gonna go in for that stomp. The portal play coming out there from Thundercat. Sees the decap from Quanfi. Able to get there before a cap happens, way before a cap happens, but the decap regardless did come out from Quanfi. Really great awareness, coming out there from Thundercat, who's gonna get some help from the enemy team. Scrub gonna try and take him down. Actually not gonna go for it. He's just going to let him stay alive. Not so keen on that move. But blue team, again, hold the sides despite the red team winning all the fights. Quite crazy play coming out from them. Despite that, they are going to get that decap over there at the waterfall. We're going to see Kev come in over to this core. You know, this is so back and forth. Neither team having a dominant lead. Like I've said time and time again, this red team, they're getting the stomps, but they're just not, I don't know exactly what it is, because it's just so back and forth here. Both teams are rotating, getting the decaps. The blue team is the one more dying than the red. I don't think I've seen many of this red team die. They're just not really keeping up with them. And there's so much tankiness to that of this blue team with Chaos on the Minimancer and Sir Nib playing that Guardian build that just gives him, he has Mercy Runes on top of it, so they're able to get those res really, really easily with Chaos running Mercy Runes as well. And especially with the quickness res on 24-second cooldown with Mercy Runes. You can imagine how fast those reses are going to be. That's why they're able to get them back up into the fight. Now Thundercat getting pretty low, able to blink out of that fight, gets his Mantra of Recovery off. Should be okay for the time being. It's going to be trained down by all his vein. He's got some support from Sister. They did actually portal out of that fight, if I'm not mistaken. No, he did come back there. He's looking to push a 2v2 over here at the quarry, but blue team take that cap. Did they take the mid cap? No, they did not. Okay, they just got that cap on the quarry there. Looking to make a push over towards that quarry node for the red team. But still, this game is back up, almost tied once again. Okay, there is that quickness. There is that time warp coming out from Thundercat. Is he going to be able to keep it up? No, he does not. Tries with the auto attacks from the sword. I think he really should have brought out that Phantasmal Berserker there. No, you know, and that Mirror Blade Shatter combo onto that down body, but really just auto attacked with his sword. Not so keen on that cleave coming out from him. This midpoint has not been capped all game long. We're over halfway into this game, and the mid cap has not been capped. I don't think it's been ever. I don't think that's been capped. I don't think we've seen the red team with a single double cap this game. It's only been blue team with the caps, but they're getting the kills. That's that's exactly what's keeping them in this game. While the rotations from this blue team are just far superior to that of the red team. Now we see red team take a very, very small lead, holding onto that waterfall. Blue team going to be able to clean up that fight, killing Sister over at the quarry in that 3v2. Now making a huge push to the midpoint. Have to see who the target's going to be. It looks like that is going to be Cavi, who gets super low. Noodle's under a lot of pressure as well. Gets shelter off. He does see Cavi taking in the downstate, going in for that res. Oh, the stomp comes out as there was quickness that came out. I believe that was from All His Vein, brought out that quickness stomp. Really, really solid stomp coming out from them. Only down about 9 points. Both teams holding that one cap. Coming off a respawn though. Blue team not really paying attention. They have a portal on the point. Did not manage to get there in time. His Sister able to get that decap as they try to take their first 2 cap of the game. We do see Quamfi finally portal back to that point. Not nearly in time though, as they got that decap at least 5 seconds ahead of him going back to that point, rotating back there. But Scrub now under a lot of pressure, trying to take down Thundercat, who's so low. Gets that Mirror Blade. I believe that was actually Mindstep able to get that onto him there and take him out with that Power Lock, if I'm not mistaken, coming right out of the Vamp Runes. Able to make sure he had no time to do anything whatsoever. His red team starting to build a smaller and a bigger and bigger lead, rather, as they have about a 30-point lead. The biggest of this game. Only about 5 minutes left in this game, and neither team is to 300 points, and we're about 5 minutes into this game right here. So this could very well go to timer. We'll have to see as both teams are playing the side nodes. There's just a huge fight going on at the midpoint, and there's really not a whole lot going. No team is really committing all of their resources. They know most of the play is at the side points, so they're not pushing 5 people in the midpoint. They're more like pushing 4 people in the midpoint and 3, and then keeping 1 or 2 people at the side nodes, making sure they're not decapped or assaulting a side node. Regardless, Quanfi getting pretty low here, does get taken into the downstate as Kevy, yeah, there's no one even around for him, so that's going to be an easy kill coming out for them. I think this is a prime opportunity for Hero of Death to go for that gate. There's no reason whatsoever he should, especially with Scrub in the downstate right now. They don't have that rotation that they do. Hero of Death needs to go for that gate because it could turn around instantly, and he could need to go for that Lord. If blue team gets their feet back underneath themselves, the Olive Vein taken into the downstate as well. We did see Sernib able to get that res onto Scrub at the midpoint. That's a really good pickup. Hero of Death still sitting at that waterfall. They're 4v4, no doubt, because of coming off a respawn is Quanfi. They're still winning the 4v4 at the midpoint. We do see, I think, Thundercat bring out that Time Warp, get that stomp onto Scrub. Really, really good game that we've got here, about a 45-point lead in favor of this red team, who were behind most of the game, but seemingly getting all the kills. It was really catching up to the blue team. They weren't getting kills, they were just getting rotations, and now it's really showing that they can't win the team fights here. Now Chaos taken into the downstate, coming off a respawn. We did have the Mesmer, I believe it's Quanfi, go to that quarry node, make sure he can defend it, and his team will regroup there, if I'm not mistaken. The first time this game, we will see Graveyard capped after
Red team
12 minutes. Graveyard is finally capped. Excellent defense from both teams. So ultimately, the team fight's really catching up with this blue team way late in this game. They're going to take their first 2 cap of this game, if I'm not mistaken, at least with Graveyard, because that's the first time it's been capped all game long. And now they're making a big assault over here at the blue team's only node all the way across the map, which really hinders them because they don't have that map advantage in terms of, hey, let's just come right out of the gate and we'll be at our home node. No, they have to go all the way across the map to that quarry node. Now they're making a push for the Lord. I Am Scrub actually taken into the downstate as they had multiple red team members move over towards that gate and take him out. I think we are going to have this red team, Ethereal Guardians, taking game number 2 and moving on into the finals. For the first time in quite some time. I'm not so sure I've seen Spicy Asuran up against, I don't think I've seen Ethereal Guardians in this tournament actually for quite some time, but coming back into it after a little bit of a break on their side, you know, doing a really excellent job and taking out, I mean, this isn't over yet. Olive Vein, though, get pretty low. This Lord has great support coming out from him. He has Noodles dishing out the heals. Nib is taken into that downstate. That Lord looking so healthy right now. I don't think they're going to be able to, yes, the Stomp coming out there on the Nib, Olive Vein in downstate still. So we're going to have Ethereal Guardians coming out after a very long hiatus, if I'm not mistaken. Taking out Spicy Zurin, who got top 4 last week. The week before, if I'm not mistaken, they got 2nd place and looking so dominant. Taking out Spicy Zurin. Good game, well played to Ethereal Guardians, as well as Spicy Zurin, who looked, you know, they looked pretty strong in the beginning of that game. Rotations were spot on. They were excellent, especially on Forest. They were doing a great job. They had a nice lead. Ethereal Guardians really coming back though on that Forest game and taking that map number 1 and surging forward with all their team fights here on that 2nd map. So there we have it. Ethereal Guardians moving on 2-0, beating Spicy Azurin. I don't believe we know their opponent yet. It will be either Best Team North Africa or Colin's P-Lab. It will be one of those two as we look forward to that next semifinal. I'm going to go on a short break, guys, and when I'm back, I should have that one ready for you. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I just want to give you an update on where we stand with the other matches. It seems as if game number 1 of the upper half round of 8 just finished, so we might look to take a different semifinal rather than EG against Best Team North Africa or Collins P-Lab. It'll probably be the winner between What Are We Doing Guys and Team Knee Brace up against Sassy Squad. We're probably going to look to take that semifinal. So I am going to continue with this break. We might catch the very end of that match between What Are We Doing Guys and Team Knee Brace. So definitely stay tuned. Again, we do have a skin giveaway tonight to any of the followers who of this Twitch channel. So if you're not following, you do want to follow, because after the final match of the night, we're going to have that gem giveaway. So stay tuned, guys. I'm going to be just back in a few minutes, so hang tight. Alright guys, I'm going to actually bring you the second match in a round of 8 game between What Are We Doing Guys and Team Knee Brace. What Are We Doing Guys actually took game number 1 about 500-300 over Team Knee Brace, who is one of 3 free agent teams who made it into the round of 8 here. So we're going to actually zoom over into this matchup. It's already underway on the Forest, or excuse me, on Lakesea of the Foe Fire. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got. As we have What Are We Doing Guys up 1-0 on the red team against Team Knee Brace. This is a free agent team who managed to take out, if I'm not mistaken, Peon Culture in that round of 16. Take a look at what's going on as a whole. Looks like a 1-cap coming out over at the waterfall for Team Knee Brace. Over here at the quarry node, we have Felix in a 1v2. He does get spiked down. So much damage coming out from El Hypno, who is one of 2 Mesmers, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a peek. They do have 2 Mesmers, Ellie, Necro, and a Thief, while we have a Ranger, Mesmer, Necro, Ellie, and a Guardian over here for the red team. Both teams actually are tied up right here very, very early in the game, but Silent Knight and Felix both in the downstate, able to bleed them out for quite some time. The decap came out over here against Serpent. Matkin able to get that one for him and his team. Really good pickup there as they want to start to build a lead. Looking to take him out, but he's going to get plus by Lighter off of respawn. Doesn't know he's coming. Will that burst play happen? We'll have to see. Oh, gets that Phantasm on top of him. Does Lightning Flash out of there. Mackin, though, is taken out by Lighter. Able to eliminate him from that fight. That's a good pickup. We'll have to see a Slin and Swift Tomahawk, excuse me. Moving on to get up Mackin, able to get him up with that nice time warp that's coming out there from, if I'm not mistaken, that was Slin, who is on that second Mesmer for this team. I do want to point out, what are we doing, guys? This is not the real what are we doing, guys. This is Slin with 4 subs, if I'm not mistaken. 4 subs coming out for Slin here. He did pick up this team at the last second. Wasn't sure if he was going to compete. Picked up Mackin. El Hypno, you probably know those guys. Swift Tomahawk and Jake. Not so familiar with them, but they're definitely doing a great job at the start of this game, taking out, you know, looking to take out in the second game this free agent team to move on to play Sassy Squad. Serpent taken out over here at that waterfall node, goes in for the res. That would be, I believe, Reeves able to get that res onto him. Playing that support guard build. He is actually running Renewed Focus with this Shouts build. Let's take a look at what he's got. Yeah, he's running Renewed Focus with Rune of the Monk.
Did you see that?
Very, very odd choice of runes and elite. Maybe he has his reason behind it. He gets some nice heal. Outgoing healing is increased, no doubt, but you know, that Renewed Focus, not so keen on that. But we'll have to see how that plays out for him. He did get the res on his teammate, so it does work. It does work for that matter, but what else do we got going on here? Felix Norris was taken out near that midpoint. Jake going in for that stomp. He should probably just bleed him out there. He is on the other side of the map, not even close to his gate for respawns. Probably should just let him bleed. But regardless, going to get that stomp here. Coming off a respawn is Lighter. They're going to be all moving to this waterfall node as the rest of this red team looking to take a 3-cap and surge forward in this game. Slin portals out of there. Not so sure what he's doing right now. And really curious as to what the rest of this red team. We do have Jake, the Minion Mancer, sitting over there near that midpoint looking for respawns. This is going to be a 4v5 situation as Felix Norris makes his way back to this waterfall. No, Mac can take it in down state. Right now, red team needs to piece out of here. They don't want to get too comfortable. Slane's going in for that res, throws down the portal. They are going to portal out of there. Nice play coming out from them, able to get them back up. At least Mac going in for that res. Oh, it's so close. Slin backs off, gets that mantra of recovery back up for himself. Hypno pretty low as a whole. He's on the other side though, as blue team cap that waterfall node. Now the rest of this red team actually pretty healthy. Serpent in a very, very bad situation. Terrible positioning from him right here. I'm not so sure. He overextended trying to get on Slin. Didn't realize he had another Mesmer right behind him. Forced to plague with about 5,000 health left. He's probably kicking himself after that one. I know Serpent well enough to think, hey, that was probably a bad move on my end. But Serpent nonetheless does get res, really good res coming out there from Reeves, able to get him back up that fight. Serpent did get back to those steps, reposition himself as a whole there. But Felix Norris is now way out of position. He is going to get taken down on the opposite side of the map. We do have that decap coming out from Lighter over there at the quarry, able to pick that up from his team, but still down about 175 points right here. Lighter does not get any help from the rest of his team. He is going to be forced to blink out of that one and try and get back in the fray of things. He's going to throw down that portal. He's going to portal back over here near that midpoint. Pretty good portal play from him. You know, not like it was a play, but it was enough to get back into the fray of things. He's actually going to come right back through. At the waterfall, we do see Xylent was taken out there by Hypno. Wins that 1v1 matchup between the Ranger. I want to know what Xylent's running. Looks like he's going to be running Skirmishing Nature Magic. Can't see his weapon. Actually, he's running a Condi Ranger build. Just want to take a peek at that really quick and see exactly what he was running.
Did you see that?
Now this blue team are tunneling back to the quarry. There is the 3-cap coming out for what are we doing, guys. Looking to move forward and surge ahead here as they take over a 200-point lead. Really dominating all around the map right here. There's not a whole lot that the blue team can do. They're so spread out. Lighter going for that decap at the midpoint. This is kind of the really the crumbling moments of a team when you see the 3-cap come out and they're all spread out right here. They're just going to start to lose fights unless they can somehow out-rotate them, but the red team's really got it under control, it feels like. Swift stays on top of Serpent. Serpent is running that Selly build if I'm not mistaken, so he's not going to be able to be taken out that quickly by a Thief for that matter. Still looking pretty healthy here. Taking a look at Slin at the midpoint. He is in a 1v1 against Lighter. Lighter gets bursted down quite a bit there. But no mantra of recovery, excuse me, no mantra of distraction up for Slin right here. He's forced to cast that. Does get it off. Should be okay. They do take down Lighter. I believe that was Matt Gen and Hypno able to take down Lighter. So they did have a 3 cap here, able to clean up shop at the midpoint, clean up shop at this henge, excuse me, at the quarry. No, they go in for the res, able to get that, almost
like
give up
that.
the point.
Blue team
But
takes
Swift Tomahawk got outside of that Shadow Refuge. He threw down just in the nick of time. Looking pretty good for this What Are We Doing, guys? Moving on into the semifinals against Sassy Squad. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to fare against them. Sassy Squad, that is the full Sassy Squad team. The full team for that matter. While this red team, I mean, they've got good players, don't get me wrong, but Slin is the only person, he just named it. It was a pug. He just named it after his team. What Are We Doing, guys? Didn't have any of the guys actually on his team, so they're just kind of, you know, just kind of YOLOing it in that sense tonight, and we'll have to see how they fare against them, assuming they are able to finish up the job here, but they have a 315-point lead with a 2 cap here, looking to take a 3 cap. I can only assume they're going to take through this game and move on into the semifinals. Lighter getting pretty low. He is in Vampirunes, has some condies on him. He's going to be taken down in just a matter of seconds. Gets the seal. He's surprisingly enough, he's not running Mantra of Distraction or that Mantra of Recovery for himself. He's running Decoy. This is a very old-fashioned build, I want to say, especially with him running Sword Torch. Old-fashioned in the sense he's even running Chaos over Inspiration. I don't think this is the most optimal build, but probably the least of their worries are their builds right here. They're pretty standard in the sense they're not like completely out there, but they're definitely not the meta builds we see nowadays. Anyhow, good knockback there from Lighter, but he's probably going to get finished here. Assuming Slin can land that power lock onto him. He's going to get some help from Swift. Good portal back up there, not portal. Good move there from Lighter to get back on Slin. Going to get some support. Actually, doesn't get support. There's Swift. Okay, I thought Swift is coming in there. Swift did come and finish him off there. But red team, we are going to have this What Are We Doing, guys, move on into the semifinals to take on Sassy Squad. And try for a share of that, what is it, 14,000 gem prize pool. So, again, congrats to Sassy Squad, going to be moving on to the semifinals, while Team Libres will be falling short in the round of 8. Still going home with a llama per player, so, you know, they're probably happy. Coming in as a free agent team, you kind of aren't expecting to get to the semifinals. You're just thinking, hey, maybe we can get a llama. Why not try for it? And they definitely did, moving past Peon Culture in that round of 16. So some congrats to them, and congrats to What Are We Doing, guys. Going to be moving on into that semifinals. Going to go on a short break as I get these teams into an arena. Hang tight, guys. Alright guys, welcome back to the AG Weekly number 30. What do you guys think? I've just been thinking. I didn't know last week until after the tournament was over. What do you guys want for that skin giveaway? Give me your ideas in the Twitch chat. Let me know what skin, a reasonable amount of money, 100 to 150 gold. Just let me know in that Twitch chat what you guys would want as that giveaway skin. After the finals have concluded tonight, I'll take all of those that are serious into consideration, so definitely let me know about that. You guys must be following the channel to win that later on, so definitely give it a follow if you're interested in that giveaway. So Super Adventure Box not on the table, sorry about that. Let me know guys what your thoughts are on that, but we do have our next game ready for you guys. It is the semifinals. It is going to be Sassy Squad up against What Are We Doing Guys. Again, What Are We Doing Guys? Not the full roster, but Sassy Squad definitely have their full roster playing tonight. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got for both of these teams. Taking a look at both. We've got Sassy Squad over here on the red, and we've got What Are We Doing Guys over on the blue. Taking a look at Barely Salty. That's going to be Bear Grylls playing. Ooh, that Mesmer is running with the Great Sword. Staff running with Vampirun's Berserker Amulet. Running the typical trait lines. Nothing too crazy about his build, except that he's running Signet of Humility, which I like against Warriors, but other than that, I really think Time Warp's too good not to use. Naru sticking to that Guardian. He always plays running with that Mace. Focus, running with the Staff, Soldier Runes, Cleric's Amulet. Nothing too special about his build. Sorry, Naru. Amon playing the second Mesmer for this team, running the exact same thing, if I'm not mistaken, as Bear, except he's going to be running with that Time Warp that I love so very much. EJ playing the Necro with that Dagger Warhorn, with the Staff. Sully build with the triple Signets for himself. And finally we've got Justin, aka Justin Noob Thief, playing DP Shortbow with Marauder. Vampirun's running Shadow Arts as always with that Blinding Powder. Now take a look at that team we just saw. That's going to be What Are We Doing Guys? We've got Matt Gann, excuse me, running the Dagger Ellie for this team, with the Holbeck Runes running Fire, Arcane, and Water. Swift, Tomahawk. We didn't actually look at these guys' builds very much last game, so he's going to be running Dagger Pistol, Shortbow, Vampirun's Marauder Amulet, running the same thing as Justin, running with that Shadow Arts line and that Blinding Powder. Jake running the Minionmancer for this team with the Staff. Axe Warhorn with Pack Runes, Marauder Amulet, running Blood Magic, Spite, and Death Magic. Hypno, the first of two Mesmers, running with Greatsword Staff. Looks like Berserker Amulet with Vampirun's running the typical trait lines with Signet of Humility. That's the second one we've got this game. And Slyn finally running the same exact build, except with the Time Warp. So they've got an identical comp, except we've got a triple Signet Selly Necro versus a Minion Master. So let me know guys in chat who you think is going to take this game, this set, as we wait for these guys to ready up. You know, personally, I really feel like, sorry guys, I really feel like this blue team have the upper hand. Or excuse me, the red team. I really feel like Sassy Squad has the upper hand. They've got more experience together. Not to say that this blue team doesn't have experience, but again, it's not the full roster of What Are We Doing Guys. But we do have this game underway. Taking a look at the opening splits.
Hold on to your points.
For both these teams, neither are going to be crossing. They're going to be playing it pretty safe here. Looking at what they've got, looks like they're going to be sending their Necromancer to the home. That would be EJ. And oh, we're going to see them go for Chieftain right off the start. This is something we haven't seen from many teams. We saw this from the Abjured a few times, but the thing Abjured does, they send somebody to the midpoint. So it's a matter of whether or not the red team's able to get that cap in time. Now we have some stealth play coming out from them. They know that they just got that kill, so they waited to drop that Shadow Refuge, and they're probably going to be able to get that. They do get the full cap on the midpoint, so that's a pretty good thing for the red team, but that Chieftain obviously going to give them that extra 25-point boost. But who are they going to spike down? Looking for Naru. Naru knows it's coming, runs away, able to get his shelter off and mitigate a lot of that damage there. Really good play from Naru. Slyn was absolutely annihilated in the midst of that fight. Bear had dropped, or Amon, excuse me, had dropped his Time Warp, and they obliterated Slyn from that fight. Now Hypno's low. Jake is low. Jake's taking him down state. Swift is so low. Has nothing left. Bassi Venom has Withdraw up. It should be okay for the time being, but still excellent, excellent play coming out from this red team. Justin does port out of there. His Mesmer did drop the portal. I believe that was Slin who dropped. No, that was Bear. Yeah, that was Bear who dropped that portal. Excuse me. They're able to get the res at the midpoint, but Mackin taken down once again. This red team really terrorizing this blue team, just absolutely obliterating some of these guys. And looking so good as Hypno about to be taken in the downstate. Slin over below the keep about to be taken out as well, as he has a thief on top of him. That is Justin, looking to be spiked down. Has 2 charges of power lock left. EJ going to be over here as well. Does portal out of here. Slin trying to stay alive. We do have, it looks like Justin go for that decap over at the henge point. Over at the midpoint, we do see Swift Tomahawk throws down the SR, going in for that. Oh, nice knockback from Amon. Able to make sure Hypno doesn't get res, but manually trying to res him himself. Will it be enough? It looks like Hypno, oh man, he does get res there as Swift was still stealth. So a little bit of an unfortunate play for the red team, but still great plays coming out there. Bear getting so low. Good burst from, I believe that was Slin and Hypno. Swift Tomahawk was taken down in the midst of that fight, but the red team allow that blue team to send their elementalists to that henge and take a 5v4 at the midpoint. They need to take advantage of that. Slin still in the downstake. Justin trying to take out Swift Tomahawk as well. Slin still pretty low. The stomp does come out from Naru there as they take out Swift. Now the elementalist Matt Gang going to be pushing towards that mine while Justin pieces out of the midpoint, going for the decap over at the henge. Bear does get a nice blink across, trying to make sure he doesn't get himself in a dangerous position. Naru going to pop that quickness. Shout going to be able to get that quick stomp onto him. Hypno pretty low here. We're going to see decap nodes on both sides. Both teams trying to get the other team's point, but we do have the Mesmer 1v1ing Justin over here. Definitely is going to favor Slin, I think, especially with Justin not having any of his cooldowns aside from SR. We'll have to see if he throws that down. But blue team taking their first 2 cap in just a matter of seconds of this game. Take a look at what the rest of this red team is doing. They're trying to get on top of Swift Tomahawk. Swift Tomahawk gonna get back to that point in time. EJ definitely, I think, has the upper hand. Expect no cooldowns whatsoever for Swift. He needs to be careful. I think he just needs to let them get that cap because Mackin is in the area, able to hold on to that point as long as he wants to. So they're trying to get back in this game down just under 100 points. Oh, so close to getting out of decap. We did see the kill come out onto Swift, so Mackin forced out of this. The Minimancer, that would be Jake, moving to his way to that point. I don't think Mackin needed to give up that point. I think he could have saved that. He was right on the point. His Minimaster was coming over to help him. He could have traded out for him. You know, he could have just lightning flashed up behind this point anywhere he wanted to get support for himself as soon as that Minimaster moved over there. I think that was a bit of a poor play coming out from him, but regardless, he's going to be taken down super low into the downstate there. Bear coming in for that quickness stomp. Not able to get it. Looks like he did get interrupted. Still going in for the res. Good burst play coming out from nice Mirror Blade Shatter combo, able to take down Jake in the process of going in for that res. There's a stomp onto Jake. Mackin still in the downstate. Slin was taken down at the midpoint. Looks like he got res as they took out Amon, and that decap and the full cap going to be coming out from Justin over here at the henge. Anyhow, taking a look at what's going on the rest of the map, just kind of regroup from both teams. I think we do see Hypno making his way over to this henge point. Going to take on that 1v1, especially with Jake coming off a respawn. They could definitely take advantage of that. Nice burst coming out from Justin. Needs to be careful. Oh man, Justin, 100% HP. It's 10%, under 10% there in just a nick of time. Has Shadow Step. Is he going to be able to get away from it? Does use Shadow Step to get out of there. Surprised he hasn't thrown down SR yet. The rest of this blue team and red team making their way to the midpoint where Bear was actually taken out. Swift Tomahawk going in for that stomp. Does get knocked back there as Naru goes in for that res onto Bear. Should be able to get that there. Bear back into that fight. Naru doesn't have any shouts to support him anymore. He's obviously not running Receive My Light or Receive the Light there. He's running Shelter, not able to give him mass healing in that sense. But Swift Tomahawk was taken down in the midst of that fight. We do have a 1v1 emerging between the points as we see. It looks like Slim making his way to that mine point, but Swift Tomahawk is fully dead at the midpoint. Just there he goes down for the once again he is taken fully dead as red team reclaimed the 2 caps, starting to build up over 100 points here. But taking a look at Chieftain, it looked like we saw Hypno. He did portal out of that midpoint. Gonna portal back as we do see Justin peace out. Knows there was a portal. Is gonna go for that decap all the way around the backside onto that henge point. Coming off a respawn though, Swift Tomahawk probably gonna force that 1v1. But at the midpoint, Bear gets super low. Hypno isn't able to finish him off as he wants to play it safe with casting that Mantra of Recovery there. Doesn't have Mantra of Distraction up for another 10 seconds here. Bear now super low, almost down, able to get out of there with that blink. He is going to get, oh, Phantasmal Retreat saving him. Oh, man, oh, the portal play from Bear does get taken out at the midpoint. So does Jake. The stomp going to be coming in for Amon. Will it be enough? It is enough as Amon is able to get that stomp, but Bear had not tagged him. That Shadow Refuge coming out there from, I believe that was Justin, able to make sure they get that res onto Bear. What a spectacular play coming out there for the red team, despite Naru getting that stomp, or excuse me, Amon getting that stomp. It didn't res Bear, but they still made sure that that kill didn't come out onto Bear, who had a clutch portal at the last second to that midpoint to get out of that one alive. But despite that, red team lost the mind point in the transition of fights there. Now EJ is in a 1v2, going to get some support from Justin. I believe that's Amon coming in as well, trying to spike down. I believe that's Swift, yes, who's in stealth. Now they're taking out Hypno, who is solo in Vamp Runes, has Power Lock left if he wants to use it. Uses all charges of his Mantra of Recovery, can get out of this fight. I think had Mantra of Recovery on that 10-second cooldown up right away once again. He's so low, needs to be very careful about his positioning here. Trying to take down Amon. Amon has a little bit more health than him. Is casting that Mantra of Distraction here as Mantra of Recovery as well. Wants to try and spike down Hypno with that Power Lock, trying to take him down. Oh, Amon barely gets out of that one with that stealth there, but super low. Hypno on top of him, getting back into that fight. This is a huge 2v2 we got going, or 3v2, excuse me, in favor of this blue team, but that kill comes out there onto Hypno, going in for that res. Nice knockback there from Amon, but despite that, Mackin had that stability up. Didn't get knocked back, got that res. We're going to see a 3v3 now emerge over here at this, or excuse me, this is still a 2v2, or 2v3, in favor of this blue team. Despite that, taking a look at what we've got over here, Justin able to get that decap over at the Henge, despite coming off a respawn. We got Jake, excuse me, and Amon finally taken out in this 2v3. EJ going in for that res with Naru, who actually plus this fight from the mid. Still trying to go in for that on Amon. That's not going to happen. So much cleave coming out there. Great cleave from this blue team, able to mop him up, but still, they're down over 100 points. Trying to clean up this fight over here for the blue team. Red team seemed to have had the advantage most of this game, but despite that, blue team finally taking that cap keep, finally taking that mind point cap. They're going to finally have a 2 cap here and start to build themselves back up. They really need to be careful. They need to spike down Naru. Naru is in a very, very bad situation right here. He has Justin moving towards the midpoint, could stealth him up and get out of that, but Naru is not built for a 1v2 situation. He's really not. He's got like 12,000 health. He can't withstand 2 mesmers for very long whatsoever. Over here at the mine, we have Amon push in for that 1v2 on the mine point. I think that was probably a bad play from him because he's not gonna be able to win that 1v2. I don't think, unless he has some there's some really bad moves coming out there. Interesting portal play. 210 health left for him. He's more than likely gonna be taken out there. Nice Phantasmal Retreat, but does. Oh, it gets out with the blink. Oh my goodness. Amon with the clutch disengage, able to get out of that with that Mantra of Recovery. Justin now at the midpoint trying to take down Slyn, that 1v1. Oh, nice spike, able to hit him with 5k backstab. Is it going to be enough? Gets up to that top of the point there. Still, Slyn in a decent position, and he is going to get some support from the rest of his team as we see Swift Tomahawk make his way to the midpoint. He's going to go back below the keep. I think he got caught out a little. Amon actually rotating back around that keep point, able to get the decap over the mine. Red team still holding on to a decent lead right here. All they need, that was a great decap by Amon, able to make sure they're not able to get back into this one as they're looking to lose this midpoint, the red team that is. We're going to have a 1v1. I do want to point out going on over here at this Henge point. Necromancer versus Necromancer. Excuse me, actually, this is a 3v1. There's so much AI here, it's very difficult to tell who is who, but we do have that kill coming out onto Jake in that 3v1 situation. A few too many resources, I think, in favor of the red team over there. They held the point. They didn't need to 3v1 that. They could have definitely just 1v1'd it for that matter. Necromancer versus Necro. They didn't need the Mesmer and Guardian there. They didn't need to get that kill. Now blue team is going to have a 2 cap once again, but despite that, such a good lead from this red team that they built from the start of this game. And, you know, it's over 100 points here.
Team takes a capture point.
And despite that 2 cap, they can win with that cap over there at the Henge. Coming off a respawn, though, Jake going to be able to get that decap. So, once again, the decap at the midpoint might happen. They're just 1 tick away from getting that. But even if they don't get it, they're still sitting pretty. That decap from Jake coming off a respawn, we're going to see it looks like Justin able to get that over at the mine point. Probably just going to go for the full cap here, as, you know, it's all they really need to win the game. He's not going to be able to hold the point, but still wants to get it for the rest of his team. Taking a look at the midpoint, though, we still have Slin under a little bit of pressure here. Bear actually taken into the downstate. Is he going to get res? It looks like Naru coming in for the res onto him with that quickness rhythm, able to get him back up to the fight, about 50% HP. Now EJ under a lot of pressure as well. Has Plague, has about 50% Shroud if he wants to use it. He has some Condis taking on him, able to Plague, but so many Condis on him. He plagued about 8k health, not going to be able to do a whole lot for him. We do see that, I believe that was Bears, no, that was Hypnos. Excuse me, Slin. So hard to keep track of all these guys. Time Warp, one of those guys, Time Warp. There's 4 Mesmers right here, can't keep track of which is which. But still, Matt getting taken into the downstate. He does get stomped. Swift and Jake super low here. They need to be very careful, because if they allow them to get this point, which I think after that kill onto Jake is going to happen, despite Sling coming out into this fight with 100% HP, no way he's going to get that res. No way they're going to get that decap on Justin. Because if Hypno could get it if he's able to spike them down, but the midpoint looks so in favor of this red team. I think we're going to see Sassy Squad take game number 1.
Did you see that? Red team.
And it looks like red team taking that 2 cap there. So there we have it, guys. Sassy Squad taking game number 1 in this best of 3 series over What Are We Doing, guys. You know, still a very valiant effort coming out from this blue team, despite them not having their full roster. They have one guy, Slin, who picked up guys at the last minute here. A couple of known names, Hypno and Mackin. I haven't heard of Jake or Swift, but definitely holding their own in this matchup. But, you know, really good effort from them. But still, Sassy Squad coming out on top, about 100 points there. Looking to move on into the Forest, or excuse me, on Legacy of the Fofire to take game number 2 and move into the finals. While we get these guys joined up here, I'm going to take a short break, music break. Just keep looking at the screen, so don't go anywhere, guys. Down the road less traveled, it's harder when the sun is shining, 'cause the light's not fair. I'm talking to my darkest shadows. This love is do or die, but they don't care. I don't know why.
The match starts soon.
Alright guys, we do have this game number 2 underway.
Hold on to your points.
Take a look
Seize
at
theirs.
what we've got for both these teams here. It looks like whoa, this is a identical split. Mesmer, Necro going to home for both teams. And they've got all 3 members of both teams are together, the exact same 3 classes. Actually, no, we've got a, I thought this was a mirror comp. It's actually not a mirror comp because Naru is playing the Guardian. There's no Guardian over on the blue team. So scratch whatever I just said. Don't pay attention to me. Anyhow,
like
take a look at
that,
what we've got
blue
going on.
team
Bear is
takes
getting
a
bursted down
capture
really
point.
quickly here, as there is a 3-point split coming out from this blue team, red team. Able to get that
wins
cap
the capture
graveyard,
point.
but despite that, Bear taking it in the downstate. EJ going in for that res. Will it be enough as Amon pluses this fight? No, it is not enough as EJ does plague out of this fight. Amon throws down the portal, does get out of there back to that graveyard. We are going to see that 2-cap nonetheless. More than like, I think that's going to come back. Yes, we did see AJ go through that portal as well. So 2-cap going to be coming out for, what are we doing guys, as the rest of this blue team makes their way to the graveyard node. Looking to stealth up here with Slin and Swift
Just
Tomahawk,
like
who's
that,
going to be their main
blue
target,
team
as we
takes the
see
capture
EJ already
point.
pretty low as Jake is taken into the downstate. There's a Time Warp coming out there from Amon. I think that was just a little too late for the stomp, but despite that, wanted to throw that out and make sure they got that stomp for the most part. So the target for this blue team is Amon, who is in Vampirins right now, able to make sure
Did you see
not
that?
Vampirins really saving
Red
his
team
life.
got a capture
But
point.
still, EJ taking in downstate at the midpoint. They're going in for that res onto him, despite a nice, I believe that was a Time Warp coming out there for one of these guys. Not exactly sure who. I think Bear is actually taking time. Yeah, we have double Time Warp now for Sassy Squad. They previously had, I believe Amon, maybe it was Bear, had Signet of Humility, realizing that really didn't do a whole lot. Signet of Humility only has great use against warriors because you can single-handedly, mitigate 100% of their damage, that being Rampage, in a fight alone, just by using that. So, they don't have a warrior, so they don't really need to worry about that. So I really like the
Blue
choice of
team
taking
grabbed
the
the
double
capture point.
Time Warp here, while Hypno's still taking that Signet of Humility. I don't really like that, because that's going to be hard to land, and it's like, who do you land it on? Because it's not like there's a single ability that one of these classes can use that can eliminate them from the fight as a whole. Justin now being the main target coming out there. Vampirins and the Shadow Refuge are going to keep him alive. There is a decap coming out there from Bear over here at the quarry trying to get it. Is Hypno able to get there? No, he blinked. Oh, Bear, nice portal, able to get out of that one alive. Actually, not alive, but he didn't get cornered in there. That's what I was talking about, because he had 2 Mesmers and a Thief moving in on him over near the quarry, right over here. They were all moving towards him, so he just portaled out of there, saw that was coming, made sure he didn't get, in a bad predicament for himself. Now we see a decap coming out there from Justin. I was wondering when we were going to see a move coming out from them, because they couldn't really sit at that midpoint. They didn't want to get cornered in there. Now it looks like Bear's still the main target for this
Did
team.
you see that?
So is Amon.
Red
Amon's
team
under a
got
lot
a
of pressure.
capture
That
point.
burning speed from Mackin going to take him into the downstate there. Despite that, red team able to get a 2-cap. Not able to get that res on Amon, as EJ taken into the downstate as well. We could see a potential wipe coming out there as Jake makes his way over to that waterfall, able to get the decap. EJ trying to get res. Naru able to get the res onto EJ. Justin pretty low as well, has Shadow Refuge if he wants to use it. Swift Tomahawk taken into the downstate, going in for that stomp. Bear tries to get it. Naru was eliminated from the fight. I believe, yes, he was just eliminated from the fight in the midst of all that. The team taking the 2-cap because Jake is a mini-mancer. He just stormed over there to the waterfall. Yes, he stormed to the waterfall, and then he just came back, waltzed into that graveyard node, and now they have a 2-cap. We have a decap coming out here from Justin, but I think Mackin's going to be able to keep up with him. So is Swift. I think they over-rotated here. They didn't need to do that, because now Slin is taken out at the midpoint. There's no reason whatsoever they needed to send 2 people back to the quarry, because Slin could have probably not died if they wouldn't have sent 2. I think that was a bit of a misrotation, as Jake is now about to be taken down. Has about 75% Shroud, 1,000, 2,000 health outside of it, so he's going to be taken down near instantly, especially if a power lock lands from Bear or Amon onto him. But EJ is the only one really here. Has plenty of Shroud, about 100%. Should be okay for the time being. Bear going to go in for that decap over at the waterfall. Plague Stomp coming out there from Jake. From EJ interrupts himself Why, oh why did you do that, EJ? You had that stomp, man. I'm not sure what he was thinking. Maybe he's thought, okay, they're here, they're able to get a res, no reason to try it anymore. You'd go for it anyways. Unless you see him up, you stop. There's no reason. He could have easily taken him out. Now Amon's into the down state. EJ forced back in the portal here. They're going to try and go for the sides maybe, as they have Naru and Justin in a 2v2 over here at the quarry node. Trying to take out Slin is still in the downstate here. They're probably going to eliminate him as Mackin rides the Lightnings out of here. Going to get some support from Hypno, who are going to try and stay on top of Justin. Justin needs to be careful. There's no reason for him to get too close here. Now that power lock into that Mirror Blade Shatter combo, going to take him down about 50% HP on top of that burning speed. Able to return Shadow Step out of that one, clear any condies he really had there. Now they have the sides starting to build their lead once again. They're very, very small leads. Anyone's game to take. We've seen this is really a back and forth game now. Now Hypno under a lot of pressure. Has a couple of those. Now he has to recast that Mantra of Recovery. Able to get it off with that Infinite Volt. Should be okay for the time being. Nice power lock onto Justin. Able to make him go into the stealth right there. Able to take him down to about 50% HP. Has no cooldowns left. Withdraw up in about 5 seconds. Trying to get on top of Hypno. Hypno's so low now. Goes right through with that blink. Able to get back to that quarry. Justin still sticking on top of him with that Shadow Shot. Does get power locked once again. Hypno power lock there. It does go through the portal, trying to go for that midpoint, at least defend it for the most part. As Justin is just on top of him. Mackin on top of them as well. They're just trying to go back and forth in that 3v2, make use of their mobility. In the meantime, we saw Bear and EJ actually eliminated over there at that waterfall. They lost a 3v2 because the red team was 3v2ing those two guys. I believe that was Mackin and I believe that was Hypno, and they didn't manage to get a kill. Now we're going to see Hypno come around all the way around, trying to get the decap over there at the quarry. Not able to get it though. He's going to be in a 1v2 situation, 1v3 situation. Needs to be very careful as, oh man, a lot of damage is coming out there. We're going to see Slin coming in, try and maybe support him. Doesn't have Portal to get him out. He's going to go in for that res with that Chaos Storm. Will be enough. Going in for it. Double Chaos Storm coming out there. He's not able to get that res as a stomp. It is going to come out there. Now we see Swift coming in as well, trying to support them. Power locks all over the place as with 4 Mesmers in this game, with Swift bringing down that Shadow Refuge, trying to get them out alive. If I was Swift right now, I would just like wait it out, try and get on top of Amon. Yes, he is going to get on top of Amon. Amon misses that power lock, but we do have Bear who forced a portal out of there. So what Swift did there is he forced a portal there because he didn't know if Amon was in. Bear had no idea if Amon was there or not. He really just had, it was a very instant portal. He didn't really have a whole lot of decision. Didn't want that decap because that's their only node they're holding. Is blue team manages to take a lead here. Bear actually taken down over here at the waterfall. We haven't been paying a lot of attention to it because EJ is just tanking up the storm here. He's against Mackin and the Minimancer. That would be Jake. Now he's probably going to be taken down fairly soon, especially, actually, no, Justin's going to support him here. As Plague if he wants to use it. I don't think it's a wise time to use it, but uses it anyways with about 7-8k health. Gets him up to about 12k, but taken down fairly quickly. Has a lot of lifesteal, able to get himself back up to about 50% HP with about 50% HP Shroud as well. Should be okay, especially with Justin throwing down the SR. They want to try and get stealth. Good fear and knockback coming out there from that Necromancer and Mesmer respectively. Able to make sure they don't get stealthed up and out of that fight. So about a 45-point lead coming out here for the blue team as they take down Justin, who went back into that. Now we see the red team making their way to midpoint, taking on Slin. We do see Bear who dropped that time warp onto Slin. Will it be enough to take him and eliminate him from the fight? Oh man, the res potential coming out. The nice knockback. Slin not actually res. Oh, there he finally gets up. I had high hopes there for a res, and then it was just interrupted by a very, very nice knockback coming out from the Mesmers and interrupting any chance of getting that res, but they actually weren't able to sustain and keep that up, so it got it anyways. They're going to get that stomp onto Bear in a matter of seconds, no doubt, as they were trying to reclaim this 2-cap and take this second game. You know, they're only about 110 points away. Will we see our first match on Kylo tonight? EJ kind of in a bad position. We are going to see Justin able to get that decap, keeping the hope alive for his team. We are going to see Amon. I want to take a peek at him. He's going to be 3v1. Absolutely obliterated by Hypno. I don't even think Swift Tomahawk had anything to do with that kill. I think he was just added effects, for that matter. That was like a near 100-0 right there. I think we're going to have a game number 3, unless they're going for a Lord. We do see them on top of this gate.
Just
No one
like
for the
that,
blue team knows it's
takes a
happening.
capture point.
Well, they have to know it's happening. They can hear it. We do have...
Blue team
they're
grabbed
already
the
in
capture
here.
point.
There's no portal chance. It's Justin and EJ. EJ doesn't have a whole lot of damage, but we have Naru making his way. Naru's pulling multiple members of this blue team back to the Lord. We also have Amon on his way from the gate over to the quarry, but Bear is making his way to the Lord. I just don't know if this is going to happen. Even if it does happen, they need a kill as well. This Lord's about 50% HP. Oh, man. Could this happen, though? We're going to see a lot of blue team members make their way over here. I don't think Justin should have led them all back here. Naru, excuse me. Naru led them all back here. And I don't want to say, not to say they wouldn't have come back anyways, but they were on his command. They were following him up. Oh, man. Naru taking down, Justin taking down. That is a failed Lord attempt right there. We are going to see this blue team undoubtedly take game number 2 and look to move it to a game number 3, our first Kylo match of the night on stream. 1 point away here. Literally 1 point away. As they are probably going to be taking this waterfall node. And look, they could take this node over here if they wanted to as well. Actually, no, losing this 1v1 here. Not to be taken down by Amon, but they are going to be taking that waterfall node. There's no way they're going to be able to get to that point in time. I don't think it's going to happen. Yep, there we have it. What are we doing, guys? Taking game number 2. We're going to be moving on into our first streamed Battle of Kylo tonight. I believe it's our second match actually on this map in this tournament. So congrats to What Are We Doing, guys. Taking that one rather smoothly. Though I think that was really Sassy Squad's game to take. They had the lead there. So really effective comeback from What Are We Doing, guys. I thought we were going to see Sassy Squad surge forward with that 2-cap, but really weren't able to there. So we are going to go to a quick music break while we wait for these guys to ready up. Stay tuned, guys.
Running in our blood. The answers are lying here within.
The match starts soon.
Alright, guys, welcome back as we have our third match here underway in the semifinal matchup between What Are We Doing, guys, and Sassy Squad. Taking a look at the opening splits, we do have a 5-man push through the midpoint coming out for this blue team. Gonna throw down that SR, catches 3 members of this blue team. Gonna be moving over 2 of them actually to that point over there at the windmill. Gonna allow this red team to send 3 members towards the mansion. What they don't know is that no one's there. They're gonna be on top of EJ. They do MOA EJ, so they did bring back the MOA this fight. Actually, no, they had the MOA. They used it in the last game as well. That is actually the first MOA I've seen that they've made use of. So they're gonna actually stick on top of EJ, who is pretty low, has no cooldowns. Well, actually has a few cooldowns, but despite that, Force the Plague there doesn't have a whole lot of health. Red team taking the 2 caps over the side, looking to lose EJ here. He's probably going to be taken down there as Hypno gets that final power lock onto him. Going to go in for that blink stop from that Phantasmal retreat. Really nice stomp coming out there from him. Able to make sure they clean up shop there. Taking a look at the midpoint where we have Justin is under a little bit of pressure, has some cooldowns left. You know, you just hear that power lock animation, you know something is happening as Slyn was forced to blink up on top of the clock tower. Now Bear is pretty low, can do the same himself if he wants to. Blue team took the recap over there at the windmill, excuse me. Got the cap on the mid as well. It looks like Swift is now under a little bit of pressure. Oh man, will he be able to stay alive? Looks like so for the time being. Mackin with excellent support in that water to make gets a nice cleansing wave onto him, trying to keep him alive. Bear now caught out a little bit. Doesn't have blink up, doesn't have a whole lot left except for 1 charge on that mantra of recovery. Now Jake actually taken out. He did run below the clock tower. They're going for that res, able to get that res from Mackin. Mackin doing a great job thus far of supporting his team as blue team taking the sides once again here. Red team taking that mid. It's just kind of back and forth right now. No one really having clear domination. No, it was a very, very excellent opener coming out for this blue team. Now they're up a member because coming off a respawn, we do have, I believe, 1 member of this blue team who actually, I don't believe he was a respawn. He actually just got back up. Now Amon is down in the down state. We do have Bear who went for that decap over there at the windmill, able to get that full cap for his team, trying to get that first 2 cap. You know, in a minute or so here. Don't want to get too far behind as they are down about 40 points. Now EJ, the main target for this team.
Did you see that? Red team
able to take that 2 cap and get a decap. Man, this is just so back and forth right now. Neither team really have decided which points they want to focus on. They're just an all-out brawl everywhere. Back and forth rotations, really making good use of their portals and their thieves, getting back and forth between fights. Next, we are going to see a big fight emerge over here at the windmill. Right below it, EJ manages to dodge a couple of those power locks come out as Slyn was taken into the downstate. Now Mackin trying to support him is taken in there into the downstate as well. Thought that was his portal, I think, and isn't able to go through it, so he will be fully taken out there as Sassy Boys, Sassy Squad rather, managed to clean up shop there near that windmill node, looking to move towards the midpoint where they are down about 25 points here, 30-ish. Now they need to get a second point. They have the numbers advantage by 2. They need to take advantage of it. Now Bear is under a lot of heat. This is a 5v3 at the midpoint right here. Justin needs to get on top of somebody as Swift Tomahawk was taken in downstate. We did see that time warp from, I believe that was the red team it must have been. No, Portal's back out of there. Gonna make sure his team can secure, stay holding on to that mansion node. You know, to make sure that his team regroups right here because that's exactly what they need to do. They lost the midpoint. They don't want to funnel into mid. Otherwise, it's just going to, you know, be that much more of a deficit for them in the long run. They have an okay lead to the point where they don't really need to worry. They can regroup right here with their 2 members coming off a respawn. That would be Jake and Swift Tomahawk making their way to this midpoint as we see the rest of this red team. Looks like they're probably going to be stealthing up. They already stealthed. They have Shadow Refuge ready if they want to use it. We'll have to see if Justin probably going to throw it down. No, he's just going to blast finish stealth up. Wants to save Shadow Refuge for that best, you know, when he really needs it. And he's going to actually steal onto the point. Looks like he had a target there. Swift Tomahawk is at the top of the clock tower as well. We'll have to see what he's going to decide to do. As Hypno seems to be the main target, absolutely obliterated at the midpoint. Has mantra recovery, gets feared though. Has it back up right away. It's only 10-second cooldown. Slyn though on the point is super low. We do see double time warp. Both teams throwing down a time warp. Slyn portals back out of the midpoint. What else do we got going on here? Is red team still maintaining the cap? EJ pretty low. Naru pretty low. Doesn't have a whole lot left. Has 1 shot up in about a second. Has a couple of abilities out of his availability, but EJ pretty low, doesn't have a whole lot either. The red team really need to be careful about where they're rotating right now. Both of their Mesmers are on top of Hypno outside, taking him down in that 2v1 situation. They need to get back on the point before EJ is taken out. Naru actually back up to full HP here, so there really wasn't a whole lot of damage aside from Swift, who wasn't able to do a whole lot by himself without those Mesmers. As one of the Mesmers, Hypno was caught off guard there. Slyn actually lost the 1v1 to Justin over at the mansion. We're going to see a 3 cap coming out for Sassy Squad.
Did you see that?
Swift Tomahawk
Red team got a
needs to
capture point.
regroup with this team. They all need to regroup. Coming on top of Jake, trying to go in for the res. He is going to get out of that one as Jake. Just that res is not going to happen for them. Matt getting pretty low over here at the windmill. Is going to be taken in downstate by Amon and EJ. Now we see at the mansion we have Justin, who is in a bad situation. Ooh, needs to get out of here. Instant shadow step. Yep, he is going to get out of there. Going to withdraw. Probably wants to use his shadow refuge. Yep, pretty good move from him. Does not want to get knocked back. Nice. Excellent knockback coming out there from Hypno. That was an incredible knockback through the wall. Illusionary Wave hit him through the wall there. Really good play coming out there from Hypno, taking out Justin, who managed to get that cap just a few seconds ago on the mansion, taking a 3 cap from the team. Now building up to about a 100-point lead, but they are, you know, outnumbering. Blue team does outnumber the red team. They really need to take advantage of this. Getting that kill, they don't want that kill to be for nothing. They don't just want to stealth up and wait it out here, because before you know it, Justin's going to be off cooldown because they did just get the kill. Now Justin coming up in just a matter of seconds here. The rest of the red team, Naru, Amon, Bear, oh man, Amon absolutely destroyed there, able to get his mantra recovery up there. He does blink up to the top of the clock tower, does have, if he wants to go in for the res here, has time warp, but we're probably going to see that stomp coming out there from Matkin, who does stab stomp that Bear now under a lot of pressure. We're going to see a 2 cap, no doubt, come out from this blue team once again. There's a time warp coming out there. I'm not so sure what the purpose of that time. Actually, no, Slyn was taken down. Time warp for Amon. It looked like it was down below, but it was actually up top as Amon took out Bear. The res did not come out from Matgun, so we did miss that, but that was a really good play coming out there from Amon onto Slyn, taking him out. The decap nonetheless came out there at the midpoint as red team still making a surge at the midpoint. Don't want to lose that point for, you know, give it up to the blue team. They don't want that to be for nothing. That huge fight that they had. Mackin actually taken down once again at mid. Did get res by Jake, who's still playing that Minion Mancer rather, and red team still, you know, looking pretty dominant, getting decaps on the sides. That is at the mansion. We are going to have that 3 cap once again coming out from Justin. Second time this game, Justin doing a great job of rotating and using that mobility that he has in the decap coming out still at the midpoint. Not going to allow for them to get that 3 cap like I thought I just said, because, you know, blue team, they're pretty tanky in that they have Matkin running that DDL. He is running fire over Earth, so that's pretty popular, so he's not going to be able to stay alive for as long as you would if you were running Earth, but regardless, still pretty tanky with him and Jake. Hypno running for that 1v1 against Justin. He lost this matchup earlier. We'll have to see if he's able to get this kill this time. Doesn't have mantra recovery up. There he does use it, so now he has it available to him, but he's going to be 2v1. That would be Justin 2v1. Forced to throw down the SR. Oh, nice illusionary wave coming out there from, I believe that was Hypno, but Justin did get on terrain. Get a knockback into the terrain, which did not knock him out of that shadow refuge. So lucky for him, he was not exposed there. Naru almost has his full cap at the midpoint, but only about 95 points away from getting his victory. We do have Swift Tomahawk tread play for the first time coming out over here from this blue team. We do have, it was like an immediate reaction from Bear, getting on top and making sure they couldn't make use of it. Now the 2 cap coming out there from the red team. We do have, it looks like a decap coming out there from Mackin, who did ride the lightning and lightning flash up there to get that. That was a pretty good decap. They can't allow this cap at the mid to hold for much longer, but Naru is not going to be damaged. He's not going to lose a 1v1 to Jake, especially with EJ there. No, it's the only source of damage they have at this midpoint. That Minimancer really doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It's just a bunch of a cluster, really. You really don't know what to do for the most part. And he's not going to be doing a whole lot for his team, especially with 2 supports there. But Naru actually getting surprisingly low, gets a bit of his heals off. He should be okay for the time being. Has 1 shot left, but over here between the points, Justin actually taken out there by Slyn, and it looked like that Swift Tomahawk making his way to the midpoint. No, they have to get a decap at the midpoint. They can't allow for the red team to hold on to this, otherwise that's going to be game over in just a matter of minutes here. Swift Tomahawk trying to stay on top of it. Looks like Naru was mow it there. Coming out there from, I believe that was Hypno, who is bringing them Signet of Humility. Yes, there are just a few ticks. Oh, nice mines. Mirror Blade, excuse me, coming out there from the blue team, or red team. I believe that was Bear, onto the blue team, able to get a kill, but got him back up into the fight. They're still holding on this cap. Only need about 32 more points to take this game number 3 and move on into the finals. This is a crucial time for both teams. As EJ taking it in downstate, so is Amon, or Naru, excuse me. Amon able to clear out Mackin with Justin over there at the wheel. Probably going to get that cap despite being decapped at the midpoint. All they need is to hold on to 1 to win this game, and it looks like they're probably going to be doing that. Actually, Amon not allowed to get the full cap, just a couple ticks away, throws down that time warp, trying to mitigate what Mackin can do to hold on to that point. Hypno with that nice illusionary wave, able to make sure they're not putting out a whole lot of deeps onto him. They can still take this game, but it's an uphill battle over here at the windmill for this blue team, especially with Naru coming off a respawn, able to support his team so well. Hypno is so low right here. Mackin, they're able to take out Amon. The stomp onto Amon. Bear at the midpoint is going to be taken out 6 or 5 points, but they're so far behind 170 points, excuse me.
Just like that,
I just don't see this happening. Blue team taking that 2-cap, able to take down Justin. You know, what do we got going on here? This is crazy. I keep saying I don't think this is going to happen, but they keep producing results. They keep getting kills here. Naru now the focus for this team. Are we going to see this comeback happen? Naru running for his life. Mackin gets a nice emote from him. Gonna get a 3-cap here. Will this comeback happen? Down over 100 points still. They're now down to exactly 100 points. Only 30 points away from a victory. 22 exactly. Coming out. Now, okay, it looks like... Or 28. I was looking at the other. 28 points away from a victory for this red team. Could it happen? They're one tick away from getting the decap over here at the mansion. Blue team's rotations have to be spot on for a comeback right here. Jake needs some support. He should be able to hold off for a little bit longer. Amon doing a great job in this matchup, but despite that, take a look at what's going on just to try to get the decap. Will Hypno be able to get there? Hypno did take out Naru. Naru gonna probably be rezzed by Bear in a matter of time. They need to rotate over here, make sure they get that kill. I think we're gonna see a comeback. Will this happen? Amon taking out Justin. They are just crumbling to pieces here. Hypno almost taken down there by Justin. This is insane. Down 22 points. Justin throwing down the SR there. Will Vampiroon's pop form gets his Bassy Venom off. It doesn't look like he has Vampiroon's. Going to be able to use Withdraw. The decap came out at the midpoint, but despite that, red team gets decaps on the windmill as well,
Just
but
like
no
that,
cap in
blue
sight
team
for
takes
this
the
red
capture
team.
point.
The comeback. Red with the throw here. Justin about to be taken out. They have taken the lead, and there they have taken the lead. A huge comeback as Justin is taken down there. We are going to see what are we doing, guys. Moving on into the finals after an incredible comeback from them on this on this Battle of Kylo.
Blue team grabbed the capture point.
GG to what are we doing, guys. What a game, what a comeback on their end. Spectacular play coming out from them. That was insane. That was like 170, that was almost a 200-point comeback for what are we doing, guys. Not even their full roster. Sassy Squad, you know, you got to feel for them. They had that game under wraps. I thought they had that. They had a 2-cap, then a 1-cap. All they needed to do was hold on to that, and it just crumbled. They really couldn't get their feet back underneath them. Really unfortunate for them, but we're going to see what are we doing, guys, moving on into this the finals. Actually, they are guaranteeing themselves some gems, taking out Sassy Squad in that semifinal matchup. On the bottom half, I believe we have EG against Best Team North Africa. Currently going, not sure on the score on that one, guys, but I'm going to go on a short break, and when we're back, we should have the finals. Stay tuned.
Don't look back, we're here to stay. A life we knew would come one day. And this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind. The fire will burn and never die, looking through the eyes of a brand new life. And so just find me, just find me. Sparks will fly if we scream no. This is not how we're gonna go. We are the ones who never let go. Just watch us roll to where no one knows. We'll never
Welcome back, everybody, to the AG Weekly number 30. We have our final matchup for you guys. It's going to be What Are We Doing, Guys, up against EG, who managed to take out Best Team North Africa 2-1 in the semifinals. And we saw What Are We Doing, Guys take out Sassy Squad 2-1 in those semifinals. EG, you know, they had a tough path here, beating Theory of Relativity, beating Spicy Azurin, who did excellent in recent weeks, and beating Best Team North Africa. Now up against What Are We Doing, Guys? I didn't expect EG to get this far, but congrats to them on making it to the finals here for the first time ever in an AG tournament, if I'm not mistaken. While What Are We Doing, Guys? Definitely not a first for them being in the finals, but this is a completely different roster on their end. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got for both these guys. Of course, in our finals, as always, our map rotation is Temple of the Silent Storm over to Forest of Niflheim, finishing on Legacy of the Fofire. Taking a look at these guys' builds. We have seen both of these teams tonight. We've got over here on the red, What Are We Doing, Guys? We've got Jake going to be running that Minion Mancer build with the Soldier's Amulet. Pack Runes running Blood Magic Spite and Death Magic Swift. Going to be playing that Thief with the DP Shortbow. Vamp Runes Marauder Amulet running with Shadow Arts. Again, excuse me, yes, going to be running DLE with Holbeck Runes, running Fire, Water, and Arcane. Slyn and Hypno going to be running identical builds, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they will be running identical builds, except Slyn running with that Time Warp. Hypno going to be running still with Signet of Humility. Now for the blue team, EG going to be running with Noodles on that support guard, running with the Mace Focus Staff, Soldier's Runes, Cleric's Amulet. Nothing too special elsewhere about his build. He is running Shelter as well. Sister playing the DDLE number 1 for this team with Strength Runes, running with Fire, and he's actually not running Blinding Ashes. He's going to be running Pyromancers. I'm not so sure why he's not running Blinding Ashes. That's kind of an interesting thing to take. I can't say I've seen a DDLE build that doesn't take it, but we'll have to see. It's worked for him thus far. They made it this far with it. We do have the second DDLE, Hero of Death, running with the Blinding Ashes in that Fire, running with Holbrook Runes. Kevi going to be the first of two identical, if I'm not mistaken, Mesmer builds, running with the Great Sword, Torch with Zerker Amulet, Vampire Runes. He's going to be running Domination, Inspiration, and Dueling. And Zor, Thundercat Zor, going to be running the same exact thing with that Zerker Amulet, running with the Sword, Torch for himself. Both of them, actually, Kevi running with the Mass Invis, and Thundercat running with that Time Warp. So just waiting on these guys to ready up. Let me know in the Twitch chat if you're interested in who is going to be taking this game. Curious to know what you guys think. Personally, I think this EG team has a little bit more practice together, but the players on the red team I think are a little bit more experienced. I think this could definitely come down to the wire here. I'd be surprised to see if this was a total blowout, but of course this is the map. This is the map that you guys don't get to see every week in ESLs, and this is such an exciting map. I love this one because there's such comeback potential. Interesting rotations come into play on this map as we have game number 1 underway for our first match of this finals in the AG Weekly number 30. Looking at the opening splits for both these teams, looks like Hero Death going to be capping his home point. No one for this red team. Actually, okay, he's just a little late to the party. Jake, for what are we doing, guys? Going to be moving to that temple node. Hero Death capping the altar over at the gate. No one for the red team. They're going to be pushing 4 members across, actually 3. Slin actually, what is Slin doing? Slin's just kind of wavering. Looking to probably spike down Noodle, actually go for that full kill. Well, the rest of the red team just going to allow for that 2-cap going out for the blue team. They're just going straight for attrition here, not even going to attempt to go for a point. Swift getting pretty low there, get updrafted, forced into a Shadow Step, and that SR there. So Slin, pretty great opening coming out from EG here as Macken taken into the downstate. Pretty brutal opening coming there. Hypno going to portal back there, make sure he stays alive, but the health pools of this blue team looking pretty solid as Noodle is under a little bit of heat. Gonna be okay for the time being. Isn't a 1v1 against this Mesmer. He's gonna get, oh man, Swift coming in, spikes him down. Really good burst play coming out there from Swift and company. That would be Swift and Slin. And good illusionary wave able to make sure that they don't get that res right away, but regardless, the res coming out there onto Noodles. Power lock coming out there from Kevy onto Slin. Kevy takes him down to about 50% HP. Maybe it's a little bit lower there, but Slin still under a little bit of pressure. Has to bail out of this fight here. Swift now under a little. He's revealed right here as Vampirage doesn't have anything out of this, so he's going to be taken down. No, going up for that res. Thundercat coming out for the stomp will be enough. The res will not be enough. Zor going to be able to get that kill onto Swift. We are going to see no decap. I thought we were going to see Hero Death piece out to possibly that temple, no, but he's just going to sit at the mid. They have the 2-cap. That's all they really need right now. As Noodle is eliminated from this fight, I do want to point out he was killed in the midst of everything going on there, but Sister now. Sister getting pretty low, has so many condies on him. That's cleansing wave, excuse me, cleansing fire, these abilities. He had it up, able to get rid of most of those. Lightning Flash if he wants to, but Spike down there. Swift going in for that stomp. We have the Shadow Refuge now coming out there as Macken was taking it downstate. Does get back up. Nice Shadow Refuge coming out there from Swift, and they get the stomp onto Sister. That is a good pickup. His hero is the only DDLE left here. Interesting portal play. Not so sure whose portal that is. It didn't really go much of anywhere. We do have a push coming out there from Slin over onto Noodle over at that temple node, or altar, excuse me. Gets a nice illusionary wave, not able to get that decap. Should be okay for the time being. Hero Death actually taken down at the gate. Did get back up into the fight as Macken and Jake both taken in downstate. Macken trying to get res. Does get res there by, I believe that was Hypno. Able to get that one for him. As he portal down, then portal back up. Or actually jump down, portal back up if I'm not mistaken. Macken, though, taken down once again in this fight. I believe this blue team, you know, despite a very, very strong opening coming out from EG, red team managed to hold on in the midst of all that. They didn't really get themselves in a terrible position. Now Slin's able to get this full cap, maybe full cap. Actually, he's going to go right on top of Hero Death, take him down to about 40% HP. Shocking Aura really going to force Slin out of that fight. Doesn't want to be caught by Kevy as well. Able to dodge that power lock. Be lucky for him, just kind of that dodge. There's no way you could see that dodge, that power lock coming. It's instant. So able to get that luckily enough for himself. Waiting for Swift to get back up in this fight. We do have a 1v1 emerging over at the temple, but Slin still the main focus coming out here, trying to stick on top of Kev, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Kev does fall down. Is able to get his mantra recovery, probably why he actually fell down. This temple node, the altar, still, still under contention here. No one really capping. No one actually at the stillness buff right now. We do have Macken making his way over here. He's probably going to be able to get this. There's no one for this blue team even remotely close. Kev looking to make his way, but I don't think it's going to happen. No, it's not. There is that stillness cap for the red team. Going to keep them banned in this game, holding on that temple. Going to be able to hold on to that 2-cap for about 30 seconds there. Especially if they're able to get a decap somewhere else. That would be allowing them to get back into this game. They're not down by hardly anything, but still, it's a decent amount of points. To the point where you know you're at a disadvantage right here and you got to do something about it. But over here at the altar node, able to take down Hero Death. Nice. That was a relatively decent time warp, able to make sure they keep him in the downstate. No real res potential though coming out from either team. Didn't really see anything of that sort. So he's going to be fully dead there. So red team looking to clean up shop over here. We do have a rotation coming out from Sister. Gonna piece out of that fight. FGS all the way over to the temple. No one for what are we doing, guys? Actually going to pursue him. So I think that's a bit of a misrotation coming out for them. They have double portal. Why are they not using it to their advantage? Why do they not have a portal or at least an elementalist on guard over at the temple? Now it's more than likely going to be decap. No lightning flash at Matt Gen's availability. So yeah, is decap there. I think that was a very poor play, miscommunication. More than likely that Sister actually bailed out of that fight. Able to get that decap, now forcing Matt Gen to hold himself there for 15 more seconds and still get to the point. Now they have the numbers advantage around the map. Hero under a little bit of pressure here. The Thundercat's out of this, so they don't really have the numbers advantage as he does come off a respawn here. So it's not terrible that he had to get that cap. They now hold on to a 2 cap. Getting back into this one, we got busted about a minute 15 seconds, guys. This is such an intense match. I knew this one was going to be super close, and I'm expecting it to stay this way throughout the entire series here. We do have that portal play coming out there from the Mesmer, trying to make sure he can get out of that mid fight. They don't need to fight sides. They can kind of hold him off and say, hey, why don't we just hold him here as long as we want to? It's not really a big deal. We're not wasting anything. This is Mackin. That's a good rotation from Mackin, knowing it's coming, that he needed to be there that quick last time. And even so, he's probably going to get decapped. But at least, he was basically dead. Oh, not able to get there. Good mob coming out there from Hero Death. Going to be forcing a 1v1. Do have reinforcements from both teams, as we can see Kev, who is pursued by Swift, making his way over here onto Mackin, trying to put out the deeps. Able to mitigate a decent amount with that shocking aura. Now Swift going to be on top of it. Looks like we have another plus. Sister going to be plus in this fight. This is going to be a 3v2 in favor of this blue team. Hero of Death coming in here. Really going to be the main target for this red team. We do have a plus. This is going to be a 3v3 fight. Buffs up in about 15 seconds. Both teams need to be very, very careful with what engagements they're putting themselves in. Hypno is at the right place right now. 10 seconds till this buff is up at the Tranquility. Sister's down here as well. We have both teams actually engaging at the top buff. Slin actually the only one up here. Have to see. He is going to be okay. Power lag coming out there from Zor. Knows it's happening, so both teams in the right place at the right time for the most part. Ooh, that burst from Slin. Kevy going to be on top of Slin, though, able to dodge a little bit of it. Has Mantra of recovery up, able to get that off and heal himself back up. But only cap going in favor of this blue team. Are going to see Mackin able to get that cap over there at the temple node. Down below, though, it's kind of a stalemate. We'll come back to this in just a little bit longer. Just a little bit. There's not too much going on there. Up top, though, Zor was actually taken down. Where are we going to? There we're going to. It looks like Kev, who is trying to take down, Swift and Slin, who are managing to stay alive just fine. Good mitigation from Kev, able to make sure they don't get that cap. Now, power lock from Slin, really going to keep him at bay, but it looks like Hero Death able to make sure they don't get that cap from Swift at the stillness. That would be devastating for them because they're going to be able to get that cap. Mackin, they are outnumbering them everywhere. The blue team is.
Did you see that?
And they're still getting kills. As Jake, because Mackin was getting caps over at the temple, not the gate, and now Jake is getting the cap at the Tranquility. We're going to see a 3 cap come out here for this red team. They are going to surge ahead at points in just a matter of seconds here. Slin under a little bit of pressure. We do see it looks like that is Noodles going for that decap over there at the altar node. He's not going to be pursued by anyone able to get that free decap. Despite that 6 cap for a couple seconds, now 4 cap for this red team. They are going to run away with this game in a matter of time here. Absolutely, that Tranquility buff, that stillness buff. The blue team outnumbered them. They had Mackin moving from temple, that cap to the gate to get that cap. Mackin wasn't even a part of those fights. And the red team still, what are we doing, guys? Still managed to outplay Ethereal Guardians on all of those points. At this midpoint, though, cap pretty low, has his Mantra of recovery up. Why isn't he using it? Should be using it. Gets 1 tick off. I think he should use that way. He had multiple charges of that. Not so sure why he didn't use that instantly. He had Connie's on. There's no reason for him not to. At least use Blink to get out of that fight as far away as he could. So I think there's a little bit of misplay on his part. Decap coming out over at the temple from Hero of Death. He's going to be pursued by Mackin, making his way. We do see Hypno going to bail out of this gate node. No, it's well under control by the rest of his team. Go for the decap over at the altar point. As we have Swift Tomahawk moving over to the temple to +1. Help out Mackin coming off of respawn. We have Sister going to be moving to 1v1. Hypno will have to see, is he able to get that decap? No. Dice Ride the Lightning, able to get on that point just in the nick of time. Going to get plus though by, it looks like Slin, but still about 30 points away. Holding on to that gate point. Both these Mesmers coming off of respawn for this EG team. Going to be moving to this midpoint, no doubt. They need to get control of it. They need to at least get a decap. They probably are going to go for that instant kill onto Jake. Nice illusionary wave. Will it be enough? No, it is enough. Jake is going to die on the point. Then we have Swift coming in for the res. He's going to throw down an SR. The res. Oh man, he attacks out of the SR to make sure they hold on to the cap. He is going to FGS out of that fight.
Team wins
Red
the
team
capture
gets the
point.
cap at the temple. Going to get the cap over at the altar as well. That will be game number 1, going in favor of what are we doing, guys? Taking out Ethereal Guardians in that
Stillness
first
has
match.
appeared.
Really, really excellent play.
Red
I
team
want to say a
wins
little
the
sloppy
capture
play
point.
midway through that game.
Blue
EG
team
had an
grabbed the capture
amazing
point.
opener. Couldn't have been better for EG at the opening of the game. But really, what are we doing, guys? Really just got their feet back underneath themselves and took it away in that, in the latter part of that game there. So, ultimately, that cap of the tranquility and that stillness really didn't do it. I think it was that trank buff and that 2 cap they had just before the trank buff into a 3 cap that really did it for them. But we're going to go on a quick music break, and when these guys are readied up, we will have the next match for you. Hang tight.
Cambridge to Boston, lives in a world she's lost in, victim of compromise. He's staring at her Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's whistling the catacombs, a paradox. He's in love with the statue in a marble block. He's in love with the girl that time forgot. She just shakes her ears. She's falling too far with salt in her scars. Won't let it taste her tears. She's falling too far. The girl that time forgot. Wasted moments, full of potential atonement, an angel in disguise. But he can see her Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's a whistle in the catacombs, a paradox. Oh. He's in love with the statue in a marble block. He's in love with the girl that time forgot. She just shakes her ears. She's falling too far with salt in her scars. Won't let it taste
The match starts soon.
She's falling too far. The girl that time forgot.
All right, guys, we have this game number 2 underway between
Hold
what are we
on
doing,
to
guys,
your
and
points.
EG. If we do
Seize
see this,
theirs.
what are we doing, guys? Take this game, that will be crowned your weekly number 30. Yes, 30 victors. 30 weeks into this. How
Spaniards
crazy is
return.
that? Take a look at the opening splits. We're going to have 3-point play coming out from this red team. Slyn, excuse me, no, that is Slyn. Puts down the portal, looks to kind of disrupt
Did you see
the
that?
opener from the red
Red
team,
team got
or
a
blue
capture
team.
point.
Then they absolutely annihilate Hero of Death. Yes, it's Hero of Death over there. Portal play coming out from Kev a little late. Everybody on the point
Just
before
like
anything
that,
really substantial
Blue team
happens
takes
aside
the
from the
capture
death of
point.
Hero of Death. They're going in for that res with that time warp. They come out from Zor there, so able to make
Blue
sure he
team
gets back up
grabbed
into
the
that
capture
into that fight. Mackin now taking out. What a turn of events here. We had that kill onto Hero of Death. They didn't manage to get that kill. They really should have not let him out. Now Mackin is the one in the downs. They going in for that res. Oh, so close to being res. He is going to portal through there. Nice portal come out there from Slyn and company, able to make sure he gets back out of that. Now we have them making their way probably to the midpoint where Jake and Noodles in a 1v1. We have, oh man, look at this. Look at what they're doing. This is going to be a bloodbath here as both teams just going to clash between the points. As Slyn is the main target coming out here for Zoe. Slyn absolutely obliterated there by both of the Mesmers coming out from Kev and Zor. Now Kev under a lot of pressure. Noodles taken out at the midpoint as we saw Swift make his way up there. Now Kev's taken in downstate. This is a bloodbath for sure. As Slin's back up into this fight, we're going to see Noodles fully die at the midpoint with Swift still at that point. We do see the Elementalist for the blue team came in. Sister came in to get that kill, actually trying to res him, but it didn't really work out for him, as Noodles and Kev are both taken. Now Sister under a lot of pressure. Did Burning Speed, I think, the wrong way because he went right back into the fray of things. So that is a turn of events. Red team taking that 2-cap, the first one this game. Now we got a portal play going on here. It looks like Zor, not really sure what he's trying to accomplish here. Gonna try and get out of here. We're gonna see Noodle with a little bit of peel. Now Kev out of position. I think he's just in a bad spot. Noodles is gonna come support him. If no, is in the area, needs to be careful as he is not running mantras now. I'm not sure. I don't think he ran mantras before. Yeah, he's not. He wasn't. He's still running at the base and decoy. So he's not gonna be running those mantras, of course. So not able to put out that power lock that really we see shut people down. But we have the rest of this red team moving on over to get that cap at the henge. What they don't know is that no one is really there, so they don't need to send 2 people. Over here at this mine node, we got a 1v1 going on. We're going to see a plus coming out there from Kev, who's going to try and spike down the member of the red team. 2 members of the red team, actually. That'd be Mackin and Jake, who are the tankiest members of this team.
Did you see that? Red team got a
Big
capture
Hero of Death
point.
actually taking in the downstate there. So many mantras being casted. I love the sound, don't you guys? This sound,
Blue team grabbed
mantras,
the capture point.
it's probably my favorite. But Jake almost taken in downstate. There goes in downstate. Both measures for the red team actually clean up Chieftain there, get 25 points for themselves as they move into the midpoint. Zor looking to make a move over to that mine. Why is he going to mine right now? I don't understand. Swift is down. Jake is down. Matkin's down. What is the logic behind? There's no logic whatsoever from Thundercat to waste his portal to get there. Okay. All right, I see the play. That was actually a really great play. I didn't realize he had portal on the midpoint. Zor actually he thought something was coming. Wanted to get his team to the midpoint as soon as he possibly could. Despite him getting 100 0'd by 2 of those mesmers, I have to say that was actually a really good play coming out from him. I didn't realize portal was there, but still they got decap. And they did take down Kev. He had good intentions, but it really didn't turn out to be a good thing. And coming off a respawn, we do have Sister able to get the decap over there at the henge. Red team still trying to engage over the mine, but great hold from Noodle here, able to make sure that they're holding on. They're still down about 50 points.
Did you see that? Red team got a capture point.
Noodles now getting
Just
trained
like
down,
that,
needs to get out of
blue
here, needs
team
some
takes
support.
a
We'll have to see if
capture point.
Thundercat's going to come plus him. Gonna come help him out,
Did you see
not
that?
plus him, but come
Red
support him, come
team
heal
got a
from him. I don't think
capture point.
Thundercat's gonna throw down that time warp going in for that res. Will be enough. Oh man, the cleave from Mackin and Swift are not enough. Thundercat able to get that res onto Noodles with that time warp. I think that was, that slow is really brutal for melee DPS as a whole. And that really hurt him. I think they should have moved their Mesmer over there. I don't think Kev really needs to be near that henge point in a 2v1 situation. Sister should be able to hold off. This fight without the mantras definitely favors Sister. He doesn't have nearly the Conic clear that you would with the mantra if covered. So as a whole, we are going to see Thundercat go for the decap over to the mine point. Portaling back though, able to easily get that decap over there at the henge. So decaps coming out on the side nodes. Mid still being in favor of this red team though. Anyhow, all around the map, Sister actually taken down over there at the henge node. We do have the rest of the blue team making their way out into the midpoint. Not so sure they're going to be able to do a whole lot. Is Noodle making his way to the point? I'm not so sure that's going to be enough. He can burst it down so quickly. He has shelter. Now he has nothing. After shelter, he is so vulnerable. I'm not really sure whether that red team doesn't focus Noodles after they get the shelter off of him in most of his shouts now. They do take down Kev. Kev in the downstate, Noodle going for that res, able to get that knockback onto Mackin, and that nice quickness res coming out there from that elite there. Now Jake under a bit of pressure, has some shroud left, but outside of that, about 7k health. Slin is so low as well, he's more than likely going to be taken in downstate. Yes, he does. You heard that power lock coming out, he's taken down as Jake was stomped. Now Swift.
The chieftain has returned.
Get pretty low. That burn not going to completely take him down. Still going in for that Shadow Refuge res. Honestly, able to get that out. The blue team seemingly didn't know where to cleave, even though they had taken him out outside of Refuge.
Just like
Not so
that,
sure on the
blue
thought
team
process
takes
behind
a
that
capture
cleave.
point.
Wasn't the greatest, but we'll have to see how that plays out for him. As blue team now turning around with the 2-cap, looking pretty good. Still defending that mine point. I don't really think Sister needs to be over here at the henge. Probably going to be taken out in this 2v1 unless he's able to get, yeah, his lightning flash and FGS. He should be able to get out. I would have popped the FGS. He's going to pop it out now.
Red
He
team
gets some
wins the
support there
capture
from
point.
Hero. Able to make sure he gets back into that fight. But the red team trying to assault the mine point here. This 2-cap going to really fail for a little bit for EG. We'll have to see how it works out for him as a whole as they portal back to the midpoint, where I don't think they really... actually, that was not... They had 3 members at the midpoint. They didn't portal. They thought they were going over to the mine, but then they decided to come to the midpoint. I don't really think that was the greatest move, as there's only 1 member of the red team here, and he managed to take somebody out during that fight in that 1v3 situation, which is quite astonishing and a great play coming out from Swift. Now Sister is the one being forced out of this mine point. Have to see how this turns out for him as he's getting trained down by Matkin and Hypno.
Did you see that?
Doesn't have a
Red
whole lot
team
left
got a
for him. No
capture
water
point.
teaming up for another 3.5 seconds. Doesn't have anything. Needs some support from his teammates. It's the red team taking the sides, reclaiming the mine and the henge. Time warp coming out there for the blue team, if I'm not mistaken. And Swift is taken almost in the downstate. Vampire's going to save him for a little bit. He is taken down there. Now Sling coming out with that Matrix of recovery. Needs those burns cleansed. Able to get that off. Should be okay for the time being. But the blue team looking to reclaim, just hold off rather at the keep. From a huge assault coming out from the red team. Over here, I'm not too fond of this move from Noodles. I don't like a 1v1 on an enemy point from a support guardian. What is I think he really needs to get out of here. He needs some support. He needs to support his team. Let his Mesmers roam and let his Ellie roam. There's no reason a support guardian should ever be in a 1v1 situation. But regardless, he's finally get some support after a few seconds there from Thundercat as they clean up that mid fight. Swift is going to get hit with that power lock. Does mitigate a bit of damage as Thundercat moving on to that point, trying to get VCAP as they start to lose their momentum that they have with the 2-cap at the midpoint and at the mine. Here, Thundercat does portal back to the midpoint. Not exactly sure the motive of that move, as he is going to go back now after a little bit of a delay with Hero of Death. Now he's just going back to the midpoint. He's just going back and forth there. Portal twice there. Going to force Mackin out with this 2v1 over at the mine point, as we
Just
saw
like that,
Swift
blue
piece
team
out of
takes a
that
capture
2v2
point.
situation. Really wasn't sure aware of what was going on, I don't think. Now we're going to see a 3-cap coming out for the EG. Will we see a comeback in this game? We will see a 3-cap here. Maybe. No. Oh, man. 1 tick away. Nice illusionary wave. Able to get Hero of Death off
Just
that point.
like
the 3-cap
that,
not going to happen.
blue
Just the
team
2-cap for
takes
the
a
time being. Now
capture
Thundercat
point.
taken out over at the steps of the red side, where it seems the red side. Jake taking in downstate. The stomp going to come out. Will it? I don't know if it's going to come out. Actually, okay, so they do cleave out his Thundercat and Hero of Death. Going to bring Jake back into this fight. Red team really need to take advantage of this. This near full team wipe. Is Kev going to be taken down? Sister more than likely going to be taken down. They need to piece out the sides right now. They can win with sides. Blue team, get out of here. You don't need to deal with this keep node right now. They should both piece out to the mine because they got respawns coming up. We should both go to the henge point, or at least one of them. Hero Death going to kind of waver between the beach, knows that there's a huge
you
assault
see
coming
that?
over here
Red
from multiple
team
members
got
of
a
this red
capture
team. Going to
point.
be on top of Sister, who's going to need some support from his fellow elementalist, Hero of Death, who is coming off a respawn. They can win with this 2-cap. Looks like Sister is almost taking out Swift. Swift about to be taken into the downstate here. The Necromancer, Jake, is kind of wasting his time at the midpoint. He knows there's a guy on respawn. Take advantage of it. They're going to portal back. Now Jake's going to come through the portal. They're going to swap people. Now they're both coming through the portal. They did have Swift taken out there. Now Hypno, I do want to point out, he's coming from the midpoint as he was the one who portaled. He never actually came back through. Over here at the henge though, blue team did give up that cap. It's Slim able to win that 2v1 situation. 2v2 actually. Noodle not able to support Thundercat well enough to the point to hold on to that cap. Unfortunately for them, that was their comeback right there. Now we're going to see Sister, an excellent rotation from Sister. Knowing they're wiping up the fight over here at the mine point, as long as Kev kind of stays in the area. Sister able to get that decap. Knows they're going to lose this cap at the henge. They're going to lose that fight. Sister needs that full cap. We're going to see Slin more than likely go for this kill on Chieftain and try to end the game here. Will we see these Mesmers get here in time? I don't think. 50% HP. This is going to be game over if no Mesmer gets here. That is going to be it. The red team take that kill on Spawn here. That's not game over. I thought they were about to have that cap, but they need support now to Thundercat. Going out for respawn. They do have Noodle. They can't allow. Oh man, the burst onto Mackin is huge. The time warp coming out. Able to get the kill over here at the mine though. They need some support. His sister is under a 1v2 situation. Hero Death was taken out. I think that was a poor rotation from Noodles. Needed to get over there to the mine instead of that hedge. Will Sister be able to hold on? Needs to die on the point, trying to stay alive. Doesn't want to die. They cannot give up this point. Noodle has to get on here in time. This could be it. Noodle able to get on point. On the other side of the map, though, we do have the Thundercat under a little bit of pressure. Able does get hit with that fire grab going in for the sap stomp from Matt Game. Will be enough. Able to get that kill. Now Kev is the only one alive. There is the bubble kill coming out there as they got Sister down as well. And game over in favor of What Are We Doing, guys. GG's to both teams, as we almost had a comeback come out there from Ethereal Guardians. Excellent play to both teams. That was a very exciting match. A little bit closer than the last one, if I'm not mistaken. Congrats to What Are We Doing, guys. Going to be taking home first place prize of 10,000 gems, while EG will be settling with 4,000 gems as a team. That would be 2,800 respectively to both of them at first and second place. I do want to point out we do have a giveaway, a skin giveaway. I'm going to go ahead and open that raffle while we have some so we'll have some announcements to go ahead and get through. So if you guys want to go ahead and type in !raffle into the Twitch chat, you can be entered into that giveaway. You must be following. If you're not following the Twitch channel and you're drawn, you will not win the giveaway. So go ahead and do that, guys, if you're interested in a skin giveaway. I have not yet determined what the skin giveaway is, just like last week, but it will be something in the range of 100 to 125 gold. So, you know, you can expect something along that lines. If you don't like the skin, you can always sell it for that amount of gold and be pretty set to buy what you want to. So I do want to thank my mods. I believe I had Chloe, Ruby, and AK today. It really helped me out with our new system that we have in play. As always, got my announcements. If you guys are interested in playing in the AG tournaments, you can join yourself. I believe I'll have the signups for next week up later tonight. You can sign up as a team or a free agent. Just be sure to read our new rules. You can find the signups over there at battlefy.com/academy-gaming. And if you have social media, you can follow me on Twitter at StormGW2 and Academy Gaming as a whole at Academy_gaming. And if you are a player looking for some new tips in PvP, academygaming.net, right above me there. Go ahead and check that out. We've got 1 to 2 articles coming out a week on player tips, news, and all Guild Wars 2 stuff as a whole. Definitely check that out if you want to try and learn some stuff about PvP or interested in hearing what I have to say, as well as my other fellow writer, Omnipotent Toaster is his name. You can find that link for the website below the stream as well. Also, if you guys are interested in seeing the VODs for ESLs, AGs, and upcoming videos I'm going to be doing a weekly or a bi-weekly segment on something. Can't really say what it is yet, as I have to record the first one first. If you are interested in seeing those, guys, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel below the stream. I would really appreciate a follow once I hit 500, or subscribe. As soon as I hit 500 subscribers, I will be able to have my own personal URL for that rather than a bunch of letters and numbers. So definitely subscribe to that if you guys are interested. And as always, thank you guys. Thank all 15 teams that came out to participate today, as well as all the viewers. Had a really good turnout, viewers and teams. So it was a really good thing to see. And as always, if you're interested in supporting me and Academy Gaming with buying Guild Wars 2, you can find that below the stream. Other than that, I don't really have any other announcements. Thanks to Mystery Man for helping me out there with that great cast. I'm always looking for people to help shoutcast. So if you're interested, you think you're knowledgeable, feel free to contact me in game. I would love to have a conversation with you and see if you are someone who would like to have on stream a cast with me sometime. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this giveaway, guys. Just give you a few more seconds here. I don't think there's really anything else to go ahead and talk about. Of course, as you know, guys, I guess it's not till the next week. So you could catch me and Hurix on the ESLs on Sundays. I was looking at the dates. I thought WTS was this weekend. It's not till next weekend. So ESL on Sunday. If you didn't know, they did re-sign the 3-month contract with ESL. So you'll be seeing 3 more months of the ESL at least. So on Sunday, this 2nd of August, you can catch Hurix and I for the ESL Weekly. That's about all I have to say. Let's go ahead and get this draw underway. Looks like our winner is ZomyGod 313. Are you here? ZOMG 313. I believe he is here. Is he here? Are you here, man? I'd love to know if you're here. If you are, he is here. All right. Oh my god 313. Go ahead and PM me in game. Actually, no, don't PM me in game. PM me on Twitch with your account name. Just right click my name and send me a PM via Twitch. Don't send me a whisper. I'm not going to get that. Send me a PM via Twitch. Other than that, guys, thank you all for tuning in tonight. I hope to see you, I believe, tomorrow night for my personal stream. If not, I will see you on ESL Sunday. So have a good night, guys, and I'll see you later.